Good morning, and welcome again to Golden VCR. Whoops. Sorry, my Stream Deck stopped working, so I have to click on the scenes manually. I'm sure you can reboot it somehow. In fact, what if I just open the software? Yes, that fixes it. Okay. Wait. No, it broke. Okay, now it's fine again. Hi everyone. You might look at those shelves and think, boy, those are really empty. But in fact, that other shelf is not empty. And there are plenty of tapes on that shelf, and there are plenty of tapes en route to my P.O. box, and there's tapes next to me. Lord knows if we'll ever watch most of them. But I figured we could start clearing out a little bit of the backlog here by picking some of the ones that look good but maybe not full watches. So that's right, it's a hit the brick stream. You know how this works. We watch for 15 minutes, then we poll, see if we want to go to like 30, then we poll to see if we want to like finish the tape or not. So it can be a nice just variety of things. We got Skate Like a Pro with Paul Coffey, Tai Chi, Fitness and Health, Canadian Gardener with David Tarrant. If any of these are standouts, we can watch the whole thing. Otherwise, it's just a nice chill collage. So let's check out one of these. Why are they winners? Because they're Canadian or because you sent them in? Did you send them in? They're all from the same part of the shelf, so I assume, yeah, they are from the same person. Gardener. Canadian Gardener with David Tarrant, Roses, Volume 3. Join renowned gardener, horticulturist, and writer David Tarrant as he inspires people of all ages and abilities to roll up their sleeves and cultivate their own love of this favorite pastime and hobby. This tape features roses. The subject was roses, or so goes the script for this fascinating, informative look at gardening with horticulture's most demanding flower. Canadian gardener's David Tarrant tackles the basics and beyond of this horny, thorny topic. Included in this video are tips on all of this stuff. Alright, this is Volume 3 out of 4 volumes of Canadian Gardener, all about roses. You ready to get thorny? Oh. Let's get thorny. Thorny car. And here we go. I'll be in and out today because I got stuff to clean and I just woke up. So in a moment I will be getting coffee. But I will join you for the beginning of Canadian Gardener. Oh my god, that's an intro logo. Hell yeah. What are they hitting us with? Videoservicecorp.com. Ooh, that's a great one. Thank you, CBC. CBC is, I understand, the Canadian public broadcaster. The BBC or the PBS of Canada. Or are they not? Are they a network? Or are they the ABC of Canada? Oh, okay. I was wrong. Roses.
Well, hello and welcome to our video all about roses.
Oh, this man
Designed
seems
to
so
help grow them
delightful
from
and so
coast to
Canadian.
coast. Actually, it's based on the best of Canadian gardener from the past 7 years. And we'll take a look how to select them, where to plant them, the care. We'll also visit gardens that are absolutely beautiful so that you'll be inspired and end up with a wonderful rose garden. So let's start off with planting and end up with overwintering.
What, is he from the Maritimes or something?
There are two ways mostly of buying roses, either in a pot or what we call bare root. And this one obviously is in a pot. It's pink piece, and it's probably been in here since the fall. And I tried to choose, when I looked at it, one that is not too dry on the tops, that's got good buds coming out at the base. And this one is a pretty well all-round sort of specimen, and that's the one we'll plant. And this one is Red Radiance.
Yes, that is David Tarrant.
And these are the type that come in from Holland and or overseas, and they've been waxed. You can see all the wax on the outside of the stems, but they've got good growth on them. And there's nothing wrong with this. The only thing is you don't want to leave the buck sitting around for a long time because they will dry out very, very quickly. On a sunny day like today, it'd be far better to keep them on the north side
According
of the house
to this website,
ready to plant, or even.
He is the co-host of CBC TV's The Canadian Gardener, and he's been education coordinator at UBC, which I assume is the University of British Columbia's Botanical Garden since 1974. Also, author tags, ladies, or men perhaps, he is single.
And just heal them in if you wanted to. But let's see what we can do here. I'll give you a few pointers on how to plant a rose. First and foremost, you can see that this bed has been nicely top dressed, so we'll reserve some of this mushroom manure, and you want to allow about 2.5 feet always between the roses. Nice moist soil underneath here. Try to dig your
he
hole
emigrated from the UK
twice
in
the size of the pot,
1967
if you possibly
to
can.
British Columbia.
Okay.
So, Bella, I
Bit of
presume you will feel
exercise for me.
an instant affinity with this man.
Looks pretty good. And then for taking it out of the pot, it should come out fairly easily. And since it doesn't have a lot of roots showing, I don't want to break it up. I'll just set
Well,
it
because
in,
of that, and also
and I'm
because he
afraid
seems so
the
delightful.
hole is too deep. So just put a little bit of soil on the top, like so. There. Beautiful. And try to use some of the manure that's around just to gently put those roots in. Make sure it's nice and moist before you do it too, and then a little light tapping around.
Always make sure it's nice and
You'll
moist.
see on here where it's been grafted, and there's a
That's
bump
step
on
one.
the stem. Don't bury that bump, keep it just above the soil level. And that's really all there is to it, except just very, very quickly water it in, and there you go.
I love how he's
Happy little
scurrying
rose.
about rather than having them edit the shot.
Most of us, no matter where we live across the country, will be dealing with rose pruning. Some of us may have done it already in the milder parts of the country. For most people in cold areas, there will be a mound of soil or sawdust that's up around here.
Wait, how do you
Pulling
garden
it
in
away soon, and a
Canada?
lot of the top growth will be dead, but the lower ones
It's
will
all
still
ice,
have
right?
nice firm stems with buds on. And actually, these roses have had what we call a post-winter pruning
It's all
to
just
stop them from
year-round
wobbling
ice up
around.
there.
But I like to take them down even further than this. And I guess what I need to say is that most people are terrified to do this. You've got that wonderful new shoot on the top. And what we want to do is get some branches that come from way down low so that the roses are below our eye level as opposed to way up. So get the glasses out if you need them. Look for a little bump on the stem, which is actually a bud facing out. And with good, clean pruners, cut just at an angle. And what happens is a new shoot will come out from there and grow on up this way. I've always been sort of criticized to being a really heavy pruner. And I remember when I was a kid that I looked after a woman's roses in England, and she went out shopping while I was doing the roses. she came back and said, where are they all? Because I'd really cut them right down. But the point is you get good, strong growth coming from the base and far, far nicer roses to look at. And this one, because it's coming back through the center of the bush, there's a couple of shoots happening down here that are going to get really crossed over, so I'm going to take it way down low. And it looks shocking, but believe me, it's going to be quite wonderful. Okay, I have to keep the specs on. They're all a little bit different. That's a real hybrid tea. This is more like a polyantha rose, and it's got some lovely
Wonderful.
strong
Well,
growth
enjoy
down the back
enjoy
here.
some more of David, and
Out it comes.
I'll be back.
And you know, if you feel that
to
you
check
have a
in with you,
problem
see if we want to hit the bricks or continue
rose
after
crown
I
gall,
get my
which we
coffee.
get on the coast here, or one of those black spots diseases, it's not a bad idea to have a little cloth with you with some Javex bleach or something like that, and wipe the blades of your pruner before you go from one to the other, because you can transfer a lot of diseases that way. Just a little tip to pass on. Let's see, here and here, and then over at the back there's this tiny little thing, poor little thing, that's hardly got any growth on it at all. And I'll just go way, way down, I think, cutting off all the tiny, tiny shoots. Out so, out so. And with something like this, even though we've put the mulch of manure on the top, I think it would be a good thing at this time of the year, once the new growth gets to be about 6 inches long or so, to go to the garden center or somewhere and get some either seaweed fertilizer or fish fertilizer, because that will help the growth to become very, very strong. So there you go. I mean, I hope I have shown you and encouraged you how to cut them back so that you get a very fine looking bush. And I've always said gardening is therapeutic, and if you're real mad at the world, rather than shout at somebody, go out and prune the roses. They'll thank you for it. I love this tool. This is a swell, and it cuts both coming and going, and it's very good for getting rid of the weeds. But of course you do have to get down underneath and pull out some of them. And this particular one is one of those little shamrock type things, oxalis, that grows all over the country, and when you touch it, the seeds pop and they fly all over the place, and so it comes up. So it's an ongoing process. But what you can do when you've got all of the weeds out is actually do a little bit of mulching. I never wear gloves when I'm working with roses. Some people do, but I like to be able to feel the soil. But the mulching itself should be just on the surface. That's some well-rotted manure, compost, and it's got all kinds of food in it. So when it does rain, it'll get washed down into it, and then if we get very hot and sunny, why then it'll keep the moisture conserved inside. Now there are one or two other little problems in the rose bed, and actually I can pick this off and show it to you. This is black spot, which is a fungus disease very, very common to us on the coast and in the east and central Canada, because you had a wet summer last year. What happens is, it's a fungus, the leaves drop off. When they fall onto the soil, the fungus spores go into the ground, and then they reinfect your roses next year. So first and foremost, you need to pick them off. The other thing is, try to put them out with the garbage or burn them. And then to keep the rest of the roses clean, you put a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon to a liter of water. Mix it up with some soap and spray once a week. And that will keep your roses nice and clean. The other thing is, if you're looking for aphids, there might be some around. I can't really see any on here, but a good organic control is to just rub them like this and rub them on your jeans and it's all gone. Some people don't like to do that, but it's a good way to keep them down. And then in the meantime, you just work on the rest of the bed, keep those weeds down. I thought I'd just share with you how we can have a nice rose bush even if we live in a townhouse or an apartment. I got a bit of decent topsoil from the vegetable garden, and we'll add just a little bit of that composted steer manure in. I'm not going to put any of the other type of fertilizer in here at all, because roses like this sort of rich mixture. Then the pot, of course, We have soaked it well before we started, and it's got a nice big drainage hole in the bottom, which is very important. And just for a little something different, because this is going to go on an apartment balcony, I'm going to put some scrunched up paper towel in the bottom, which will stop the soil from falling through. It'll also give you a little bit of a reservoir of moisture, because you know how things dry out, particularly on a south-facing balcony. Then a wee bit of soil in the bottom. And there are so many wonderful roses to work with now that I went to the garden centre and I found one of the beautiful English roses that we talked about last year. This is Graham Thomas, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, it's started to grow well, and I have a feeling that it hasn't been in this pot very long, so there's a chance that it will start to fall apart. But no, there it's good. And you can see in among it some little yellow dots. Those are the actual fertilizer that they put in the nursery, the Osmocote, which is slow release. So if we're very careful with this, pop it in and don't break up the root system, you can see that it's got at least an inch or two between the outside of the pot and the root ball itself. And then we just fill it in lightly with this nice soil. You want to make sure you don't overfill it. There should be at least an inch between the surface of the soil and the rim of the pot. And just to finish it off, a plastic saucer that we can stand it in so that it won't drip down on your neighbor's head. And in the middle of June, well, we should have a lovely yellow Graham Thomas rose right on our balcony. Well, now we're speaking with Brad Jobbert at Select Roses, the man behind all these beautiful flowers. Now, you are a rose breeder, is that right?
Yes, that's right. We started a few years ago with the breeding program.
And did you get into it by accident, or is it just a real passion? Or
It was an accident, passion, and a hobby that went wild, like most people in the industry.
Amazing. Now, these are all seedlings, right?
Yep. These are seedlings from last fall. And what we did after we pollinated and collected the seed, we planted in the seed trays here.
Just the bowls, right?
30,
yeah.
40 seeds in each one. And the rose seeds have to think they've gone through a winter. So we put them in a cold greenhouse where the temperatures are just above freezing, but they fluctuate a little bit. In the spring, we get germination. At this time of year, they start to bloom.
That is amazing to me. I would think roses would take a lot longer. But tell me about the ones that are diseased in here.
Okay. We purposely don't spray in our seedling greenhouse because we want to see the ones that get powdery mildew first off, because that's a big problem in this area.
Yeah.
And we leave them all together like this in close quarters. Don't spray them. And then when we start selecting at this time of the year, we're looking for bloom quality and also if the plant is resistant to disease. Obviously, these ones will be weeded out because they're not resistant. You can see this tray next to it. These ones are fairly clean, and one is showing disease over there.
So it'll get weeded out, but the rest are really healthy.
Yeah.
But what intrigues me is, how do you go about getting the seed? What do you do, the pollination?
That's quite easy, and we can show you that on one of these plants here. And I'll just take, what we do is we take a flower that's starting to open, like this one here.
So you can see the stamen in
yeah,
there, right?
and the stamens will want to pollinate the flower itself. And we want to select the pollen on here. So we pull the stamens off so it can't breed itself. And this will now become the female parent.
I see.
So we weed all of this off, and then we select the pollen that we want. So the female parent, in this case, we'll use this one called cider cup.
Okay.
So we'll take an open flower like that.
Yeah.
The pollen is available there. And basically you just brush the pollen from this flower onto that one.
Okay.
And leave it for a while.
So how quickly does it produce seed?
Usually within a few weeks, the hip will develop, and it'll look something like this here.
Yeah.
After that stage, we let it get orange. We shell the seeds out and plant them in the seed trays.
So it's all done within one season?
Within one season, yeah.
Well, thank you for making it seem so simple for all of us, Brad.
You're welcome, thanks.
Got time for one quick letter, and actually it's all about roses. These people have a lovely old shrub rose and they want to know what's the best time of the year to take cuttings from it. Well, it just so happens that I have some here. This is Rosa rugosa, and about the middle of summer when the new growth has come out, like you see on the side here, you take pieces and you make them about 6 inches long. Remove 2 or 3 of the bottom leaves, and because it's really soft on the top, take that tip out, and then I have handy a pot with some rooting media in. This is made up from coconut fiber and perlite. Push your cuttings in, it should be nice and moist. Water them in, of course, and keep them in a shady spot. I'd leave the pots outside. By fall, they'll be rooted. Protect them in the winter, and by next year, you'll have some new rose bushes that you can plant out. Well, there you go, lots of information about planting and getting your roses started, and even a little bit about how we create them. But when we move on to May to July, all across the country, our gardens are full of roses. So let's take a look at how we can use them in and around the house. Get a piece of paper out and a pencil, because there's some wonderful varieties you'll want to record too. We don't have very many roses out here in the garden at UBC, so thanks to friends, Ainsley brought me these, and I went to see Audrey Litherland, who has a wonderful rose garden locally. They give me all kinds of roses to work with. And we have a beautiful old traditional silver rose bowl. I've put a little drop of water in there and actually soaked the oasis previously in warm water to make it work nicely for us. And then they've been sitting in water. That's very important. You should go in the garden, take your bucket, pick the roses from the bush and give them a nice slanted cut. And then we'll just work with what we have. This one looks like Queen Elizabeth. I'm not going to be able to give you the names of all of them, but try to think about the lengths that you want them to be. And if it's going to be in the middle of a table, you want to make sure you don't make it too tall so that if your dinner guests have to look round the arrangement, you want them to be able to look across. And we'll work with everything. Even though I'm cutting some of them shorter, little bits like this that I've just taken off with the odd bit of leaf on it work really, really well to help cover up the oasis and to give you a foil at the base. So we'll just stick it in there. More Queen Elizabeth here on the outside. And I do always tend to make this look very, very simple because I've done it many times. But a little tip that I can give to you is if you think about where you want to put them, we can't stick flowers in oasis and keep pulling them out because you'll end up with lots of holes. Just hold it there and see what length you want it to be, and you get a bit of an idea, and then you can make your cut at that point, and of course that's the way they're going to stick out for you. So all kinds of lovely little things here. I think this one is called the Fairy, and if I remember rightly, we saw this last year when we went to Elaine Stevens' garden, the woman that talked all about container gardening to us. I don't know who this is. It's beautiful. It's almost over, but we'll see how it works. Now with this bucket from Audrey's, there are one or two that she told me the names of. I don't remember all, but I want to share a couple of very special ones with you. This particular one, if you look closely in the center of it, it's like those old-fashioned sort of cabbage roses, and the scent is incredible. And it's called Gertrude Jekyll. Now, all of you that are into gardening know that this was a very famous garden designer in Britain, and she's really enjoyed a lot of things being written about her and people finding old gardens of hers, so I thought you should know the name of that one. And then another one that's here, which is absolutely beautiful, and a new rose that was developed in New Zealand, and it's called New Zealand. And look at this lovely soft color. It's a big hybrid tea. So Audrey said, make sure you tell people about that one because it's so wonderful. Well, that's all of the ones that I know the names of, so let's just fill it in quickly. And don't worry, some of them are a little bit, you know, the bugs have been eating them. It doesn't matter. You want this to look really, really natural, and just to fill in the holes in between, you get a little bit more of this fairy. You use all the buds, you use all the greens, and you know what? If a few petals fall down on the tablecloth, I think that even adds to the atmosphere. And your visitors, when they come, they're going to love this. It's going to take them back in time, and you'll have a wonderful summer bouquet on your dinner table. We've got a special guest today, Audrey Litherland, who is really a rose expert and gardener par excellence for tiny space. Audrey, it's a delight to be here.
Oh, well, it's lovely to have you here and show you some of the roses, but I'm not an expert.
Yes, you are. Look, what is this gorgeous thing that you're holding on to?
This is a moss rose, and you know, several people have said to me, it's full of bugs, but it's not full of bugs.
It's so traditional. Oh, it's such a gorgeous old thing.
That is moss, actually. It's
yes,
just like
that's
moss.
right. And then who is this down here?
Oh, that's Gertrude Jekyll. And she is beautiful. And now she's available in Canada. Up to now, you haven't been able to get her.
Oh, and of course, all those famous gardens that were put in the old country by her. What an apt name for it. And along here, there's a lovely white one.
Oh, that's an old one. That's Double de Coubart, and he is beautiful, but I'm afraid the rain got him the other day.
Oh, raindrops on roses, you know. Yep. What about this gorgeous yellow?
That is Goldebush. That's one of the Corrie's roses. And it's rather. But I didn't arrange this to be this colour scheme. It just came up like that.
Is everyone in British Columbia
poppies, the ones we used to grow
actually British?
It really is. It's a jungle full of gorgeous things through here. Those delphiniums look just like Chelsea Flower Show to me. Aren't they gorgeous?
Thank you. They have a lovely name. It's called Summer Sky.
I don't think we I
goes with your
don't think we have any
sweater
New
too,
Zealand
doesn't it?
viewers
Lovely.
on the regular.
More Gertrude.
Yeah, and
I'm
right
just aware
behind,
of
but
the New Zealand
not
time zone
quite out,
because I had a
is
coworker from
Graham
New Zealand.
Thomas.
Ah, but
Yes,
one
sure.
that, yes, but the one that is out, that dear little pink cabbagey looking one.
Yeah, that's Mary Rose.
Mary
Did you ever read the book,
No,
Mary
I
Rose?
don't read, I told you. Let's go and look at the rest of your wonderful garden. My goodness, this is so narrow, but so full of flowers.
Oh.
How wide is it?
Oh, it's about 6 feet, David. 6 feet 3, I think
It's
it is.
amazing. Look up there. Who's that?
Oh, that's Constance Spry. Isn't she beautiful?
Lovely. Is it true that you grew her from a bouquet of roses?
I love
no,
how they
not this
personify
one.
the
This
roses.
Oh.
bouquet of roses here.
Right there.
Yeah.
This is a
Gorgeous
very
thing.
lovely
The
garden
archway
for some
superb.
people.
I love the way that you framed the whole thing and the privacy.
If you suddenly
that it gives
became
you
like
from the
infirm
outside.
and were not able to maintain it for
Looking at-
2
Who is
weeks,
this one?
I feel like it would
Oh,
turn to
this is
shit and
artisanal.
become a
Oh,
really,
beautiful, absolutely
really decrepit,
beautiful.
overgrown
When
garden.
The sun's up and
Oh,
it's a single
would
red.
be. And other favorites, delphiniums.
I suppose you're meant to
iris,
talk to your plants.
Painted daisies.
Daisies, all
David.
right.
I'm making a
Yes.
poll to see if we move
and
on.
You have hollyhocks there.
I'm down to move on. This is a
Single pink.
delightful tape.
And a single cream.
Ah.
And the rose behind, I think it's Royal Chrysler Imperial.
Chrysler Imperial.
The geranium there.
And a drink.
Chrysler's making flowers now.
Hydrangea. It is just amazing.
And these are stick-ins too. Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, it's just a bower of beauty. More Constance Spry.
Yes, more Constance Spry and a little bit of Albertine thrown in.
Lovely.
And this is a musk rose.
Uh-huh.
It was discovered in England, or found in England about 1490, I think. And,
Wow, beautiful
and
thing.
it is quite unusual.
But you have something for everyone. You see, this little, if we lived in an apartment with just a
Aren't
windowsill,
they lovely?
tiny miniature
Yeah,
roses.
they really are.
Everything
and there's so many
is
varieties.
so lush and beautiful. What do you feed with?
Manure.
Really?
Good old manure.
And when do you do that?
Steer manure. In the spring and in the fall.
Oh, you do?
Oh, in the fall.
Oh, nice.
Mulch it all out around the roses.
Great stuff.
They love it.
And who is this
I love
lovely,
that.
lovely
It's
rose?
complicated.
I love how it's
Complicated being a single rose.
it's on the level of the
The
video
most
game
uncomplicated
System
rose in the
Wars.
garden. Reminds me of old
Like the Genesis.
childhood
It is,
walks in the
isn't it
country.
lovely?
Gorgeous thing.
It's good.
Beef,
Absolutely lovely.
the Chevy
Here
Ford.
we are, back around the front, and there's
just
still
so,
more to see. But who's that beautiful pink rose in the corner?
So
Oh,
overt.
that's Zephyrin Druin. Isn't she lovely?
she
but
is.
she gets black spot and all the leaves come off. So you just poke her in the tree
Oh,
and all
oh, how clever.
and then you just see the pink.
Right, and there are no thorns on it, which
And
is
no
lovely.
thorns.
Well,
No
Audrey, you've
thorns.
been wonderful showing us all your babies in your garden.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Well, thanks for having us.
Okay, potpourri. The potpourri is
What
going
I
to have
like
to be
do
a
is
mystery
lay a sheet of
forevermore.
newspaper out somewhere where the wind isn't going to blow it away. And of course, we'll use some wonderful rose petals that were picked up yesterday. And they're beginning to dry up now, but they're still not dry enough. And we've got some nice white ones here.
God, David is such a peach. I'll have to read that article that Bella shared about the nature hike. Sounds intriguing. Let's see. That was Canadian Gardener. Let's see. Should we do skate like a pro or Tai Chi? What energy are y'all feeling? Oh, this one's not fully rewound. Let's do it. Skate like a pro. Who the hell is Paul Coffey? Canadians. Do you just know these people? Skate like a pro with Paul Coffey. Let me make sure we get rewound here. Sharpen your blades, tie up your laces. It's time to skate like a pro with Paul Coffey. Watch and learn as 1995 Norris Trophy winner Paul Coffey takes you through the steps, teaching you all the moves that have made him one of the National Hockey League's all-star players. Improving your skating skills and learning correct technique is the key to achieving maximum performance. And the following program and tips on this videotape, you will learn how to skate like a pro. 1995 Norris Trophy winner Paul Coffey with Hockey Night in Canada's Ron MacLean. Special appearance by Marianne Watkins, professional power skating instructor. Thank you, Cheesehammer, for the bits. Let's see, this was sent in by Green Day, yep. We got Ice Ron instead of Ice Don. Nobody likes Ice Don. This is Ice Paul. I assume Ice Paul is okay. Let's get to it. Warning. Oh, it's the Interpol warning. Interpol has expressed its concern about motion picture and sound recording piracy. Oh, strong words. Strong words. Those Europeans, they really know how to scare you. Expressed concern.
Excuse me. I just want to turn your TV off and turn you on to the power of your kid's imagination. This is Pico from Sega.
What?
You know, Sega! It works with
Hold on.
storybook software and this magic pen.
Hold on, what the hell? This is not what I was expecting to see at the beginning of this tape, but I'm ripping this.
Excuse me.
Hold on, let me just make sure I get it right on the money.
Excuse me. I just want to turn your TV off and turn you on to the power of your kid's imagination. This is Pico from Sega. You know, Sega! It works with storybook software and this magic pen. Touch the storybook and images come alive right on your TV, interactively. Touch the learning pad and they can draw,
multimedia.
color, they can even animate their own cartoons. Speaking of which, I'll turn your program back on now. See you real soon.
Oh, and I think I might have this one, but it might be a different version. This is Mallow Film, I think.
See you real soon.
It's time. Ooh, Cinemaction Incorporated. I don't know why I love that so much. Here we go, baby. It's Paul
I started
Coffey.
skating when I was 4 years old and was playing hockey 1 year later.
Here's Coffey on a rush, right in, shoots, scores!
When I was young, it was always my dream to play in the NHL.
I've never thought about what hockey
Father would
players
say to
wear
me
while
after each
practicing.
practice, if your leg muscles don't burn, you're not skating hard enough.
They just wear tracksuits.
Coffey starts away for the Penguins. A great skater. Paul Coffey wheeling into the Vancouver zone. Goes to the right circle, cutting it on goal. Center score!
In my second year of junior hockey, I realized all my hard work was paying off. I would finally get my chance to play professional hockey.
This is some really fancy-looking footwork. I don't think I could do that.
Speed of Paul Coffey, very much in evidence there.
Skating, that's what the game is all about.
The world's fastest sport and its sweetest skater. Welcome to Skate Like a Pro with Paul Coffey. I'm Ron MacLean. For years, broadcast colleagues and I have marveled as Paul Coffey gathered the puck behind his own goal and spearheaded those beautiful end-to-end rushes that struck fear in opponents and led to record-breaking offensive output. Well, now, for the first time in a video format, we're going to try and harness some of that speed and style to teach you the most important skill in the game of hockey, which Paul Coffey, of course, is skating. And I want to ask you right at the outset,
I did not expect that
were you naturally a
jawline.
great skater, Paul,
Wow.
or did you have to work at things like this?
Well, I definitely had to work at it, Ron. I don't think there is such a thing as a naturally gifted skater. I definitely think that skating is my strong point, but it's something that I did have to work at for a lot of years. I know from the years 8 to 12 or 13.
Ron
I
is
went
just
to a lot of
staring dead
power
on
skating schools that concentrated
while Paul is
strictly
looking at
on
the camera.
skating and skating alone, and those drills I think were beneficial to me, especially later on in my career.
I notice now, even covering the NHL, when most players in warm-up are firing pucks at the goaltenders, you're just out there skating.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, I feel that skating
like
is my strongest
admiring
point,
the
and
beauty of his
I feel if
pores.
my skates feel good, my legs feel strong, then I'm going to play better out there. Warm-ups are 20 minutes long. I'll probably go out and shoot 4 or 5 pucks around, but basically just concentrate on my skates and legs feeling good, and if they're feeling good, I'll go out and I'll know I'll be playing a good game.
Now, I know you have to say you practiced hard all the time and still do, but what's your approach to drills?
I think the biggest word when you think of skating drills is discipline. I was taught at an early age from my
His
father
mouth
that
hanging
any
open.
drill you do, make sure you do it properly. And that, of course, carried on throughout my career. I had a chance to play 7
He's
years in Edmonton with
amazed
probably
by
one of the
Paul.
most disciplined hockey players out there, and Wayne Gretzky, and he was exactly like that. If we were told to go to the goal line and back, some players will go 4 feet short of the goal line, but Wayne went to the goal line and back every time, and I think that helped myself
sure. We might
to be
need
a
to liquid
disciplined
hole
player
after
and a
this
disciplined
tape.
skater, and it helped everybody else.
Do them often and do them well. Let's set out the agenda we have in store for you today. To improve your skating technique, we'll have a breakdown of the basic skating skills. Stretch and
We've already
strengthening warm-up
learned from
exercises
Ice
for
Styles of
beginners,
Utica
advanced
Devils that
skaters.
hockey is the most
Plenty of
homoerotic
drills
sport.
designed to improve your power, flexibility, and agility for the beginner and again for advanced skaters. We'll have some fun too. We'll visit Paul's cottage where he spends the off-season and follow his off-ice training routine.
Based on
Joining me now is Marianne Watkins, our power skating consultant. Marianne,
power
you've been at
skating
this 10
consultant.
years instructing at schools all across Canada. What are we hoping to achieve here?
First of all, Ron, I have to say what a thrill it is for me to be involved in this project, working with Paul Coffey, who is the most complete skater in the world today. I hear you're not so bad yourself.
I'm
but
getting better. You've been helpful. Thanks.
We're going to take a look at his technique and break down his skills to find out the qualities that separate him from the rest. And I think it's a lot easier
That's how you
for
identify
everyone
a
to
Canadian.
see and learn from seeing than it
they
is
say
to try to pick up a
project
book and read
and
it.
progress.
You're so right, and to slow down some of these things as well through video techniques. We'll begin with the 7 basics that Paul implements.
Basic skating
The 7
skills
basics.
help break down proper technique. Ranges from physical skills to a combination of skills and resources. We'll look at balance, move through the stride, starts and
I know
stops,
nothing about
and
hockey, and I have
with
no interest in ever ice skating, but I'm
Okay,
really
Paul,
into
would
this
you
tape
mind
already.
helping me for a minute to show the kids a proper balance position? How
The
we're gonna
kids?
hold the body
This
out
is
here.
only for
Every
kids?
skating skill you do, the body has to be in a certain position, as you know.
Oh,
but let's
shit.
show the
Never
kids,
mind.
okay?
Okay.
Okay, first thing we're going to do is start with our feet, and skates are always more or less shoulder width apart. Okay, now we're going to go for the ankle bend. Okay, the ankle does a lot of work out here, so we're going to show the flex that we're going to need to be able to skate. So
Doesn't
we have
say
to lean
anything
forward
about
as much as we can to
just
show the ankle bend.
suggested
Great.
age
Okay, now
range.
We're going to lean from side to side to show the angle in the boot that you need to get to hold those edges. Okay, back straight, Paul. Okay, now that knee bend, which you are so famous for. We're going
This
down.
does seem
That's it,
similar
great.
to skiing.
Okay, get used to feeling that because
Just
it's
with a
going
lot
to be
more
important when
agility.
you skate. Okay, chest stays up, stomach tight. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the line that you're going to achieve here. You're going to lean forward just a little bit, Paul. Okay, the
So
back
you know
stays
how,
straight,
like,
but there's going to be a line from
In the
shoulders, knees to
WNBA,
toes.
everyone is dating
to
each
hold
other.
that. Make sure you keep the back straight. If you notice from behind,
And the magic
his
of
seat
following the
stays on top of
WNBA
his
is,
heels,
like,
okay?
there's this layer
a
of
common error would be to lean forward and
cool
let
lesbian
this go.
relationship
Make sure you
stuff happening.
hold this position. If you can just lean forward
Based
a little
on
bit more, Paul.
Ice Styles
Okay,
of the Utica
stick
Devils
is
and the
always
way
on the
that
ice, head
Don
up.
McLean was looking at Paul
Do you
Coffey.
feel it in here yet?
I'm going to assume that
That's
hockey
great.
is the same
Looks
way, like
good.
all the players
now,
are
if
just
he's
dating each
balanced,
other.
There's nobody out here going to move this guy. Certainly it won't be me. That's great. You're solid. The most important piece of equipment for you as a skater are your skates. We're going to take a look at the edges that you're using. There's
Google
4
this.
of them.
How gay
the
is
outside
hockey?
edges that you can feel if you turn your boots over to the outside. You can run them on the ice. Inside, you just turn your boots the other way to the inside. Feel them by running them back and forth on the ice. Stand flat again, and you'll just feel the flats of the blade.
Marianne, what are you looking for from Paul here?
Well, Paul has such great edge control. As you can see, he's doing these crossovers on his outside, inside edges. He has a lot of ankle flexibility, and that's because of his low position. Here you can see on one skate, he's got total control, and that's the whole key to good skating today.
Apparently, the NHL culture is
Knowing
still
your edges
pretty,
and using
pretty
them to the
goddamn
max is the way to achieve a great
homophobic.
stride, and Paul surely has, Marianne.
Like some
It's
people have
such a
come out.
pleasure to watch him. He has
and
the
it has
full
not been
extension.
a good experience
The key
based on what I'm
to
Googling.
everything he does is his low position. As you can see, he stays down into the ice. The full extension goes from hip to toe.
But I'm also seeing,
on the
like,
return, his blade is close to the
articles
ice.
about
and
like
it's all on the
local
legs.
leagues,
At the
like
91 All-Star Game in Chicago,
recreational
the skills
leagues,
competition identified Paul as
in
the
the same way
fastest
that you would
skater,
have like
and
a
that
gay
stride's a big
choir
reason why.
in
And
gay hockey
here's a
leagues.
look at him
That seems
backwards.
pretty neat.
Again, his low position allows him that full extension, the quick return. He's very little upper body movement, as you can see.
And like an NHL defender, no crossovers, fearing being wrong-footed with the attacker bearing down. You'll often see this in the National Hockey League. Anyone who's ever learned to skate has spent countless hours practicing starts and stops. What about the start, Marianne?
Paul told me he uses a forward crossover start a lot, and as you can see, we're looking for distance, power, and the quickness of it.
When you are standing side straddle, as Paul was and is here from time to time, what is the critical element in
This
getting
is a
off
really
this
neat
powerful
format for
start?
an
To
instructional
stay down,
tape.
if your weight's down, you can use
For
the
s-
ice
for a
better, your
sport.
edges better. You can see the angle in his
They
boot,
hire
and
a
that
really
gives him
good
grip
sportsman
to, get that stop and start.
do all the
Be
stuff.
sure to jump out.
They
not
hire
up, to
a
maintain your
renowned
skates on the
commentator
ice
of
and
that
achieve
sport,
that power.
and then an expert in the thing
Now
he's
we'll look
doing.
at the stop, Marianne.
And the two of them
Paul's
are
combining the
commentating
backward
as
and
if it's
forward
a
stop in
hockey
this
game.
segment. He keeps the flow by maintaining his weight into the ice, never rising up. The stop and start become all one motion. The quickness can be measured by taking a good look at the marks left on the ice.
Great skaters like Paul need to be able to stop to avert injury. Tremendous balance maintained through the end of each of his stops. Now the turns, forward and backward, and Marianne,
I
here
love
we
that skate
examine
wipe.
the crossover, the pivot, and the glide.
Paul's doing the forward crossover turns right now. He's keeping that low position again, which is the key to that full extension he has. There's 2 pushes involved on each crossover. Again, the balance, Ron, you said it. If you don't have the balance on those blades, you can't push off properly.
Well, what's the reason Paul has such great balance?
If you notice in all these turns he does, Ron, he keeps his upper body weight directly over his skates. 2/3 of your total body weight is in your upper body. If that weight
I
isn't
still
over
have
your
never
skates,
been to
you'll
a
be out of
Hurricanes game.
control.
The things that turn me off
Paul
of
has always
Hurricanes
had
games
tremendous
are
acceleration out of his turns. You often see him in the NHL games rolling
the
around
price?
his net, gathering speed. And here, as we look at pivot turns, Marianne, I
tickets
wonder
are like
if the speed that Paul
it's like
skates with is important in
$150
drills
for
such as
bad
these, or
tickets.
is it okay to
and
slow
once
them
you're
down?
there, you're
It's
locked
okay to
into
slow
like
them down. That's the first thing that should be
$24 for
done.
a beer.
In a turn,
stadium
any
pricing.
of these turns that you see Paul doing, the idea
And also
is
it's
to
in a big
maintain
arena
the speed or gain speed, and he certainly
in the
is with that low
suburbs
position.
that's like
The
surrounded
edge
by
work is
parking lots
really
and
important,
congestion and
that's
traffic.
because he has the angle in the boot.
I really wish there
Last
were
basic
more.
we'll examine his lateral movement.
Like putting a
And
sports
Marianne, I
stadium
know in your
downtown and
clinics
having
certainly
stuff
in
around
watching
it
Paul, you
and like
appreciate
pedestrian and transit
how a
access,
player
that
moves
makes
side
so
to
much
side
sense
as
and
well
it's
as
so fun to
accelerates.
go to a place like that.
Maneuverability is a big part of the game, and you can see
When you're just
the
driving
use
out to
that
the
Paul makes out of
suburbs and
his
sitting in
legs.
traffic and
There's
parking
no
in a big
wasted
parking
pushes.
lot.
Every push
Like,
means something to him. He bears
that
down,
really
never rising up. There's no running.
ruins a
He's
lot of
never
the
off the
experience
ice.
for
He's
me.
always into it.
These basics set up our warm-up exercises.
Now, for this segment and a couple of others, we've brought together 6 bright young skaters who are going to benefit, obviously, from Paul
Yeah,
and
I've
Marianne's
mentioned before we had the
instruction, but also
Birmingham
help us to
Bulls, which
demonstrate
was a
some of the
minor
many
league hockey
drills.
team
I'd
when
like
I
you
was
to
a
meet
kid,
them
and
now.
we
Here's
went to
Paul's
their
nephew,
games.
Kevin Coffey.
And that was
Smile there,
fun.
Kevin, you're on TV now. And over here is David Lewis, strong young skater that's going to be tough in the corners, I know. And here's a youngster who scored 92 goals in hockey last year, Jason Whitworth. Way to go, Jason. Kaylin Ingram.
Oh, mullet
Our
boy.
tall young lady. We've got 2 gals here who
Oh,
are
sorry.
showing the fellows what to do.
That's just a girl.
Allison Woods the other with these beautiful blonde pigtails. Careful, you're tickling my nose there, Allison. And right here on the far left is Michael Iwanishin. Michael, big smile. Now, gang, if you'd all put on your helmets.
Michael has no notable
Pay very
accomplishments to
special
speak of.
attention. We're going to teach you a little bit about exercises that can help to stretch and strengthen your muscles and get you ready for skating. Paul, Marianne?
Okay, Ron, we're going to take a look at 7 warm-up exercises that will help us stretch out our muscles.
That's not how you spell
work the
exercise.
edges, improve agility,
Unless it is
and
in
most
Canada.
importantly, make us feel the importance of balance. They're designed to prepare us for some of the drills that we're going to be doing later on.
Okay, this time, kids, I'm going to lead you through a series of stretching and balance exercises. These exercises help build your thigh muscle and give you balance in your opposite legs. I'll go down and show you what I mean, and then you guys follow me after. Skate down, pull your left leg up to you, help stretch your thigh muscle.
Oh, I don't like that.
Give balance in your opposite leg.
What happened?
Pull your leg up to
Well,
your
I've
chest,
been ice
hold
skating.
for 5 seconds. Help stretch out the thigh muscle. Gives you good balance in your opposite leg. You
To
guys
like,
got that?
you know, birthday parties
Right,
in
you wanna
elementary
try it?
school that were. Oh my! Is that a fucking portrait of the Queen? Hold on. What is wrong with you, Canada? You have a Kim Jong-il style portrait of Queen Elizabeth in the at the top of the. What? Oh my God. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. That's really dumb. The flags I get. It's the American in me.
Try it? Okay, follow me down.
Yeah, I don't want America to get
Lift
ideas.
up and hold. Keep your opposite leg straight. Okay, stop there.
I
Okay,
guess
try
in
that
like,
this way, holding the other leg up.
no, it would even.
Okay, right leg.
I can
Bring it up,
picture like
hold.
an elementary school
Keep your other leg
classroom
straight.
having a
All right,
picture of the
good
current
job.
president.
Good
But
job.
I went
kids,
to a
this
Catholic
one's
school,
called
so we
the
had a
glove touch.
crucifix
First thing you
and like
do
a
is get
picture of the
down
Pope.
real low. Okay, stay
that
there.
would still be weird to
You
me.
have to take a push, touch your glove to the ice. Keep pushing.
I
you
can't
gotta
imagine
keep
in a
touching.
sports
Make sure
venue
you
having
stay
like
low.
a giant photo
What
of
you
Barack
want to do is
Obama
stay down
in
with
front
your
of the
chest
American
up,
flag.
and we're going to try to work this upper thigh muscle right here, okay? So stay low. Okay, we're going to keep that chest up, head up, stick on the ice the whole time. Are you ready? Let's go. Push. Touch the glove. Keep going. Nice and easy. That's it.
Do you
Keep
have
that
to
chest up.
do you have to sing "God Save the
Good.
Queen" in unison while looking at
Okay,
the portrait
kids,
of
what we're
Queen
going to do now
Elizabeth
is a
before you
series
play
of
hockey?
groin stretch exercises. This will help stretch out your groin muscles and improve your skating ability. What I want you to do first is drop your leg behind, keep it straight, have a little bit of bend in your opposite leg. Again, that's going to help stretch out your groin muscles and build explosive power. Okay, stand
Explosive
there,
power
I'll
in the
show you
groin.
how.
I do assume that
I'm going to start skating.
like at Canadian
Drop your
sporting
right
events,
leg
they sing the
and
the
stretch it
national
out. See
anthem
how
of
it's
Canada
straight?
before they
Then
do
come
it.
up, pump, and go down with the left leg. Can you guys do that?
Unless that is a uniquely
Okay, let's go to
American
the blue line. Let's try
phenomenon.
it. One leg at a time. Down, stretch, up, opposite leg. Down, stretch, up. Okay, let's go back again. Left leg down, stretch, up. Right leg down, stretch, up.
Yeah, would it be
All
the
right, good
red
job.
picture of Charles?
Okay, we're going to kick on the circle for this one, okay? First thing you do is stick
Or that's
up.
his like official
Okay,
art.
make sure
portrait.
you keep looking up so you don't get dizzy as we go. We're going around the circle, so we have to push the outside leg. Keep
Official
looking up.
Canadian portrait of
That's it.
His Majesty
once you
King
get it
Charles
going, We're going to
III.
kick out, lift it. That's it.
Official Canadian
Lift.
portrait of Her Majesty
Make
Queen
sure you kick
Camilla.
out.
Who the fuck is
Okay, if
Queen
you can do
Camilla?
that, we're
Sorry.
gonna lean. Are you ready? Try to lean and touch your skate. Over. That's it. Try to keep going.
There's a
That's it.
Camilla?
Okay, kids, this time I'm going to demonstrate
what's a
drill
Camilla?
called the ski ankle roll. It's good for your balance and also builds up strength in your ankles. Okay, stay there and I'll demonstrate. Skate
she
out,
like-
get speed, then do sharp.
Was she like a minor
Circles
royal
with
of
your
Monaco
ankles.
or something that got married into the family?
Never
Or is
letting
she
your
a
feet leave the ice.
commoner?
Okay?
Is she English? Is she a
Okay,
Norman?
kids, let's do it all together again. Skate hard to the dot. Make your cuts nice and sharp. Hard
Oh, her.
cuts, nice and small and sharp.
Okay, kids, let's test your balance. First thing you do is get down low
Oh,
and keep that
spinorama.
position. We're going to turn all the way around. Let's try it. You got it? Okay, a little bit faster. Okay, now let's start skating. Stay down low. Okay, you got it. We're going to turn all the way
You
around.
spin me right
that low
round,
knee bend.
baby, right round.
Okay, this time
They
we're
were
gonna
playing
go
that
up in the
song
air. Are you ready?
With like Chinese Mandarin rap
Great. That's good.
club
Okay,
remix
kids, this
in
time
between
we're
the
going to do an
refrains.
exercise called heel pull-ins. This again is going to help
When I went to
stretch
get
out
my
your groin
haircut
area
at a
and
different
build up
place
your thigh
that's
muscles, which in return is only going
Chinese.
to help your skating. Help you
And,
give explosive power off the start. Okay, let's go over here and I'll show you what I mean.
And I played World of Warcraft. I was on the internet
Spread my
in
legs,
2006.
pulling from the heels, do it nice and slow.
So when I
okay?
hear that song,
Wide
all I think of
circles.
is the one meme that you shouldn't
Okay, you guys want to try it?
talk about on stream.
Nice wide circles, pulling from the heels. Nice wide
It's
circles.
meat spin. Everyone loves meat spin.
That's good. Pulling from the heels. All right, good job.
Paul's 7 terrific warm-up exercises. Now we're going to look at some advanced drills. And
The
it's important
song
to know
is not
who
suggestive.
came up with these names. Line ski jump, shoot the duck, and the straddle jump are 3 of my favorites.
I don't think they wrote the song with that image, that precise image in mind.
Important for developing strength in the ankle and to just get the feel of the skate itself. Paul lunges backward and forward over the blue line, trying to maintain control and to hopefully improve the height.
I guess
Like
so.
the line ski jump, the one-leg skate is a tremendous drill for working on edge control. If you can master this, your cornering will improve dramatically.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to capture skate wipe because I love it so much.
Don't try this at home. This is called shoot the duck.
God, Paul has got some thighs, don't you know?
And this is called the pylon push. And really what we're emphasizing here is staying low, a full extension of the leg to improve the groin, knee flexibility, and provide proper extension. The straddle jump helps to determine control both in the knees and the ankles and will give you the feeling of power from the push-off. Drill number 6 is the stick drill, and this involves a series of quick pivots, and it'll improve footwork and help to get the feel of edge control once again.
That's how you know a Canadian. They say again.
Finally, the drill Paul worked on most as a child. His dad taught him the importance of maintaining balance and stability in the crossover.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my gal.
Bet you thought I was Paul, huh? Listen, just before we move on to some drills that will help you to improve your agility, your flexibility, and your power, I know that I could use one, and I thought maybe you two would like a breather. And nowhere can you get a fresher fill of air than at Paul's summer place in Ontario's cottage country.
Oh, we're going. Shit. I was about to ask if we wanted to hit the
Welcome
bricks.
to my cottage. This is where I spend the off
But
season.
now we're going to Paul's
Here
summer
I train
home.
6 days a week using 2 separate programs.
Can't miss this.
On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, this is my routine. I start out by warming up on the bike for 1 minute, then I ride for 15 minutes.
1 minute?
At a good work
Jeez.
rate. I then warm down for 1 more minute. I find this workout to be very good for my legs and my endurance. Weights are a big part of my off-ice program, but only for my upper body. I feel that my legs get enough workout with my bike
It's a
rides.
boat. Yes, a boathouse.
I have 2 upper body routines. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I work my chest and my shoulders.
I want a boathouse.
First up is the bench press. This is great for the chest muscles. On all my exercises, I do 3 sets of 15, 12, and 10, increasing the weight after each set. Next is the military press, which is great for the shoulders. Also good for the shoulders is upright rowing. And chin-ups with my hands facing out. On the alternate days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I use the same equipment but vary my routine. I warm up on the bike for 1 minute, then do a series of hard 30-second sprints. This builds explosive power in my legs. The alternate day weight training is for my arms. Bench press with hands together is good for the triceps. So are French curls. Next is arm curls. First a regular grip, then with hands closer together. These are great for the biceps. Wrist curls strengthen the
two boats.
forearms and wrists, which help in puck handling
Oh
and
my
shooting.
God, I love All right, I love that the back
Again,
of this,
chin-ups. This time hands
the images
facing
they
in.
have here,
This really works the arm.
all skating again.
Every day between
and then
exercises
Ron
and at the end of my
staring
program,
at Paul.
I do a total of 500 sit-ups using a number of variations. Sit-ups are not only good for the stomach muscles, but done properly, they strengthen the back muscles.
Come on, focus.
Cycling is also a big part of my off-ice program. As often as I can, I like to ride my mountain bike. Cycling is another good way of building endurance in the legs and improving your cardiovascular system. I like to vary my rides. This way I never get bored.
All right, I'm making a 2-minute pull. We are at 24 minutes.
This is a great way to cool down
out of this 40-minute tape.
Cardiovascular exercise.
So decide if you want to move on or hit the bricks.
Now that the work is done, I can enjoy one of my favorite toys.
Oh, it's a
Skimming
boat.
across the water is a great way to unwind and relax, which is just as important as a good workout. I like to think of my cottage here as my biggest prize or my biggest reward from playing in the NHL so far. I mean, it's no secret that I really like it and enjoy it up here, and I plan on maybe someday spending more time up here than just the summer, so I've put a little bit of work into the cottage. Did a lot of renovating last winter, and it's just turned great. It's my biggest
Holy
reward
shit!
Right
I've done a lot of renovating. Puts up one poster of himself.
I had a chance to get the cup once in '85, and I had kind of a little family deal at home, my mom and dad's place, and that was a lot of fun.
It's
I had a chance to
a
share
total
it with my
like
friends around the neighborhood. And
bachelor dude apartment. There's nothing in it except one poster.
I just said if I ever get a chance to win
of his
again,
favorite
I'm gonna
sports
ask
team,
the
the one
NHL
he plays for.
Permission to see if I can get the cup for a weekend, and you know they were great. They were very responsive and punched it in their computer and gave me a chance to have it up here for the weekend. It's just a great feeling. Again, I have a brand new set of friends up here. Still have the old ones back home, but different people I've met up here over. It's just nice to be able to share it with the people up here. There's a lot of kids around the lake here, and it's just to see their faces when they see the Stanley Cup is a great feeling. Well, when I broke Bobby Orr's record for most goals in the season, it was a great feeling.
Yay!
Big an accomplishment.
Yeah, we got a liquid
till maybe later on, 5, 6, 10, 15 years down the road. And it's been 6 years now since I set the record of 48 goals. Bobby Orr had 46 at the time, and it's just, as the years go on, it's just a better feeling, and it's just a great honor, again, to be mentioned anywhere.
Next tape, and Liquid Hole. That was Skate Like a Pro with Paul Coffey. I really enjoyed that. It was an interesting take on the sports instructional tape format. They had the awkward segment where they lined up all the kids. We got to see Paul Coffey's house. Some good skating. It's time for Liquid Hole. One drop in the liquid hole. 2, 3, 4 drops in the liquid hole. Liquid hole. Let's see. SP speed. Tape goes in. Record and play. The video head cleaner non-abrasive wet system from Realistic. Let's see what's up next. Tai Chi Fitness and Health, Intermediate. Originating in China hundreds of years ago, Tai Chi not only conditions physically and relieves stress, but ultimately leads you to a heightened sense of well-being. It is a discipline based on the principles of focus, balance, and movement. Tai Chi requires a minimum of space and absolutely no equipment other than a cool silk robe. This video, the Yang Short Form and Applications Level 1, is an intermediate level workout for those who have mastered the basics of Tai Chi, which, if you'll remember, we have from Terry way back in broadcast 15 or whatever. With continuous practice, you will see how much calmer and more fit you feel. No, I must have missed that. I will get those points dispatched momentarily. Let's get rid of our liquid hole tape. This is a different series. Tai Chi with Terry Dunn. Oh, Jess, thank you. But the Terry Dunn tape was also Yang short form. Okay, I want to offer you ducks once again, but there are many other song choices as well. Here's the official list. Let me see what I got else. Actually, I don't have that many songs in the backlog. I have a few. Oh yeah, we do have the Puss in Boots songs. Do we want a song now, or should we deliberate while we watch Tai Chi? It's up to you, Jess. Oh, actually, this is not rewound, so let's pick a song while I rewind this tape. Well, I'll tell you what. I will dealer's choice it. And Jess, if you have a different idea, you can override it. Let's see here. What if we do a few random clips here? That's what I'm going for. Something we haven't heard before. This is more of a clip show. Let's see. There's one more, or two more perhaps. Okay, how about this?
We're a place you can come home to, a place to call your
Thank you, Jess.
own, where you set aside the worries of the day, where the good times never end, for family and friends. That's why we say these are the good times, these are the close times, fair feel for the fun times of your life. Sharing time with those who love you, doing things you love to do. Can there be a better way
thank you,
to say
Summerman.
you care? Yes, the time you spend today, keeping promises you made, it's why we say these are the good times.
This is just the Sizzler song, and I love it.
Fair feel for the fun times of your life.
Whether you spend a week at Fairfield.
We have a tape to rewind, and that was a short one, so here are a few random
Well, now,
clips.
one of the most...
Cool. It's a submarine.
Hey, what's it?
You stepped on my nose.
Huh? What? Who are you?
This isn't the full song,
acorn
is it?
small and round,
Oh, it is.
lying on the cold, cold ground. Everybody steps on me. That is why I'm cracked, you see. I'm a nut. 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 Called myself on the telephone just to see if I was home. Asked me out for a little date. Picked me up at 8:30. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I'm a nut.
Haley, when are you gonna make yourself a cosplay of
Took
Silly
myself
Willy?
to the movie show. Stayed too late and said, let's go.
Her
Took my
Pagliacci
hand and
clown
led
suit.
me out, drove me home and gave a shout. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I'm a nut.
Well, that's Sillyville for you.
That was a good insemination today.
这是很成功的一次人
这是什
工受孕。
么猴子的好？
All right, one more song.
Clever cat. I can talk and even more than that. I can do almost anything, and I'm gonna visit with the king. I am the cat's meow, meow, and here, and I'm gonna visit with the king right now. Meow. Pum pum trum pum pum.
And rolling right along, please go away. It is time for, let me clear the tape counter, and adjust tracking for Best Picture. It's Tai Chi, Fitness and Health, Intermediate. We'll do at least 10-15 minutes of this, and then we'll pull. I think I have this one, but let me get the newly liquid hold recording of it. All right. FBI warning. I love the sound. Just ominous tone. Oh my god. Yes! Yes! I'm sorry. I have so many of these intros. I really need to compile them. I've been having to work on... I have 6 terabytes of network storage currently. Well, it's closer to 5, actually. Jesus. Tai Chi for fitness and health.
Qi, the universal energy that circulates within us all.
This is great.
The Chinese utilize their knowledge of Qi flow in their daily lives. Their art, medicine, philosophy, even interior decorating is based on a cooperation with this natural flow.
Anyway, we have
Tai Chi forms and meditation
we've had 132
and opening the
streams prior to today.
Qi flows within one's body.
Each one of those
regular practice
recordings is like 50,
now let's
30 to
join
50
Joshua Grant,
gigs.
Yao Li, and Dory Lee in meditation and form
So
instruction.
all like 4.5 terabytes of network storage has been taken up by the VODs, and I can re-encode them at like 10% the size, and they look just pretty much the same.
Let's begin doing standing meditation. Feet are shoulder width apart, feet flat and parallel.
But it takes several hours to
Knees are
re-encode
slightly
each
bent.
video.
Bottom is tucked in.
So I had to
Lower
write a
back
script, and I'm going to
flat.
run
I
it
want you
while
to
we're on
feel as if you're
vacation.
sitting on a stool. Lean slightly forward, chest down. Tuck your chin in slightly, tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the front teeth. Feel as if you're suspended by a string at the top of the head.
I really should be doing this.
Take a deep breath.
Eyewitness protection program. I do have a lot of eyewitness tapes now in my house.
Now I want you to feel that with every breath you take, it
Facebook and
sinks
Green
to your
Day and a few other
dantian,
kind
right beneath your
contributors.
hands.
We also still have Eyewitness History of the World on CD-ROM, which would be fun to look at someday. I don't have a
Feel
CD
the
drive,
chi moving under your hands.
but I can dig one out.
And now with every exhale, Feel the breath rise up through the back.
I wish I were doing this Tai Chi routine.
Through the head. And out through the mouth.
Well, let me just do it for a second, even though I'm not going to be properly framed.
Deep breath.
I got so much shit to do. I've been very stressed.
Allow the hands to rise up. Imagine that you're holding a giant tree. Fingers and thumbs are relaxed. Elbows and shoulders down. Allow the chi to circulate to the four limbs. Deep breath. Feel all the tension drain away from your body. Last time, deep breath. If your eyes were closed, please open them now. Release your hands to the front, palms down, elbows down, shoulders level. Release down to your waist. Feel the arms sinking.
This tape is not as cool aesthetically as the Terry Dunn Tai Chi tape.
At waist level, feel as if a cloud is under your hands, pushing your hands
But it's still
up.
pretty cool. And the instruction is much
Try not
more
to use any energy of your own.
explicit.
Release down.
I think it's doing a better job of explaining step by step what to do.
Again, rise up. Maintain a natural breath, allowing it to coordinate with the movements.
Thank you so much for that.
Take a deep breath.
Every so often I think, why haven't I made more of those things where people can just make random
palm
loud
stays
shit
down
happen on
by your
stream? I
side.
only have 2. There
Left
should be
palm
more.
rises, facing you.
And then I think,
I want you to
yeah.
learn part the wild horse's mane now.
We're
I want you to
I
sink
remember the
to your
wild
left
horse's
leg.
mane. We're parting the wild
Release
horse's
your
mane.
left arm, bringing it under your right hand.
In other words, we are
Feel as if you're
ponying.
holding a ball. Come forward. Right hand sinks back to your waist. Left hand comes in front of your chest. Again. Release.
We all love to pony.
Come forward.
I pony.
Right hand sinks down, left hand rises up. Remember in this position to keep the elbow and the shoulders down. Come here. A note about this position is to keep the hip, knee, and foot in one alignment.
As I've gone on, I've collected a lot of fun, random little clips.
Last time.
And it's really neat to have those, and it would be fun to have like some way of just like pulling one randomly and playing it.
Good.
And I
Switch to
realized
the
I
other
don't
side
necessarily
now.
have to like
Right hand blocks below.
key them out and have them
Shifting to
appear
the
on
left.
top of the street. If it were
Shift
just like
back to your right.
a thing that
and
popped
hold the
up
ball
over the
this
video
side.
for a second and the video paused.
On
like,
this side, make sure your right hip, knee, and foot are in alignment. Both feet are flat.
and it's a lot less work. It's so
Left
much
hand
effort
sinks
to
down.
rotoscope all these things.
Right hand rises up.
It could be, that workflow could be improved definitely, but I'm not doing
Again.
the Tai Chi anymore. Damn it. I can't really pay attention to this. I should do some form, I should go for a walk later. I was just thinking, God, I wish I were doing the Tai Chi because I really feel like I
Feel as if
need
you're
it
moving through water.
spiritually and physically. And then I figured,
Everything flows around
yeah, I
you.
should just probably do it.
And feel the chi surround the body. Last time.
Anyway, let's make another pull.
Deep breath. Now connect the both sides. Flow to the right.
Here's
Sit on
another
the left.
poll. If we want to hit the bricks on this one
Come
at
back
10
to the
minutes,
center.
which is in at the end of this poll, or if you want to vibe with it for a little
Again, going to the left first.
Cool.
Block below. Sit on the other side.
longer. Tai Chi's, I get it.
And come forward. Last time. While you're doing the movement, check to see if your lower back is flat and bottom is tucked under. Knees are straight. From here, we're going to learn brush knee and push. Right hand flows back, palm up. Left hand blocks the side of the body, sitting on your left side. Right hand curls through. Left hand blocks down and to the front. Keep the elbows bent throughout the movement. Just under lock position. Again. Right hand curls through as if it's a wave. Left hand flows down, blocking to the front. And push. Again. Continuously move through the movement and flow. Last time. Check your breathing and make sure it's slow and even. And push. Shift to the left. Block to the face. Shifting right. Left palm comes up, right palm down. Right hand blocks down to the front.
All right.
Left hand curls through and pushes forward. Again, check that.
This has been Tai Chi Fitness and Health Intermediate. We also needed to give Sentai Brad 1,000 points. Congrats on winning bingo from Sifen. Grant credit. Oh, it's Sentai Brad? Is that it? What is it? Brad, say something. What are we talking about? Did I spell it wrong? Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Okay. What else we got? Let's see. It's Bob Hope, The Road to Laughter. It's another one of these. I put Martin and Lewis in a box. So we're done with that one. Here's a new old-time Hollywood funny man tape. Before he was an icon, before he was a legend, he spent every Christmas with the troops. Before he was a fixture on TV and at the Academy Awards. So the journey on the road to laughter began with the movies that had become classic. For nearly a quarter of a century, Bob Hope was a major movie star. This program contains many highlights from those legendary films. With appearances by Bing Crosby, Dorothy Lamour, Martha Ray, and Jane Russell, this is Bob Hope. Good old Bob Hope. Oh, this is not rewound. Let's put that over here and find another tape. What do you know? It's not rewound either. What about this one? Also not rewound. God damn it. I reap what I sow. It's tape karma. Well, that one's in the rewinder. So, how about you enjoy? Hey, Jess, thank you. I was just gonna put up the sex scene from Pure Danger, but yeah, let's do. Oh, because it had really good music. All right. What else, though? What do you want, Jess?
Tired of floating around through this extraterrestrial bullshit. Gravity's bringing me down. Left my Earth shoes in the van.
It's left my earth shoes in the van.
If I take up the eye of an innocent.
Put
All right,
into
fine.
the tank. Well, why don't we go take a look?
To the combine.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
I can talk right now.
No, Jess, you paid for none of this. What would you like to see? I think it's time for ducks. Something that's fun for the whole family. Hey, big time for Thanksgiving. We're all about it. Thank you all. I'm going to be rewinding some tapes here. Thank you again, Jess. I forgot that Pure Danger scene was... I was so inured to it at the time.
Ducks are small, ducks are short,
I recorded it
and ducks
because
are
the song
tall.
is ridiculous.
There are many kinds and colors. Some are white and there are others brown or green or tan or yellow. Yellow like this little fellow. These are Farmer Jones's ducks. These are white and yellow ducks.
No one's paying for
Duck is a
sex
word that
scenes on Golden
stands for a
VCR.
bird that walks with little web feet. Feathers on its back and it talks with a quack to anyone it might meet. A bird has a beak and a duck has a bill with which he eats and drinks his fill. He waddles round the barnyard ground and pecks at food that lies around. And with his bill he drinks his fill of water that he seldom spills. Duck
Drink.
is a very special bird, and duck is a very special word. Duck is a word.
Wait. This is a...
With a quack to anyone it might be.
What happened?
Waddle here and waddle there.
What?
Ducks like waddling anywhere. Some like waddling.
How did this happen? This is a digital video file.
Ducks that walk in line. Some ducks like to walk around in circles on the barnyard ground.
I guess I need a better recording of
Duck is a
ducks.
word that stands for a bird that walks with little web feet. Feathers on its back and it talks with a quack to anyone it might be. Keeping clean is lots of fun for ducklings, ducks, and everyone. Always washed and clean and neat, and nicer birds you'll seldom meet. Their feathers are so clean and bright, they keep them clean both day and night. Ducks take baths like you and I, but ducks do not need towels to dry. Duck is a word that stands for a bird that walks with little web feet. Feathers on its back and it talks with a quack to anyone it might meet. When it comes to dinner time, ducks are always right on time, running to be first in line. No duck wants to be behind. Little ducklings eat beside other ducklings side by side. Bigger ducks get hungry too and eat just like their babies do. Duck is a word that stands for a bird that walks with little web feet.
Quacklin'.
Feathers on its back and it talks with a quack to anyone it might be.
It is little floppy feet.
Water is the favorite place for all the ducks to play. They like to jump and splash about and do so every day. They like to swim and paddle all around their little pond. And if their wings were strong enough, they like to go beyond. Duck is a word that stands for a bird that walks with little web feet. Feathers on its back and it talks with a quack to anyone it might meet.
Run. Run. Hooray, Jim Burrows. It's duck time. I guess I forgot that wasn't a great recording, but we did it. We got most of the song there. Now while I rewind the rest of these tapes. Hi there. Courtesy of Green Day. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm on my way, I'm making it. I've got to make it show, yeah. So much larger than life. I'm gonna watch it grow. credit card debt. So much larger than life. Big time. I'm gonna watch you grow away. Big time. Big time. My car is getting bigger. Big time. My house getting bigger. This song reminds me a lot of the LA scene where everyone is going into credit card debt to impress their friends. Big time. My belly's getting bigger. Big time. And my bank account. Big time. Look at my circumstance. Big time. And the bonds are now big. Hi there. Thank you to Peter Gabriel and his Bulge for Big Time. And thank you to Green Day for requesting that. Leisure Suit Larry. That is a good analog. All right. it's time for Bob Hope's Road to Laughter, because all 3 tapes I picked out were not rewound. So thank you for the stalling tactics, Green Day and Jess. I very much appreciate your support. And that one needs just a little bit more rewinding. It was making some odd crunching noises in the rewinder, so I wanted to do the last mile on the VCR. We're almost there. Yeah, I never played Leisure Suit Larry. I did play a lot of King's Quest as a kid. I guess it wasn't. Leisure Suit Larry was not really in my age. I was not the target demographic. All right, finally, Bob Hope, The Road to Laughter. Enjoy. We can check back in at 15, 20 minutes. See if we've had enough Bob. Universal Studios.
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we start our daily broadcast. Now, I want you folks to sit back and relax and have a good time.
Well, they certainly didn't
we have
distribute
quite a
this
few
tape.
Jokes here.
Oh, I had Maniac Mansion
I'm an
as a
American
kid.
citizen. I pay taxes.
Maniac Mansion and Zach McCracken.
I can't tell you what it was, but it just was
both very
like
formative.
there was luminescence around him.
I tell you, sir, women are all alike. Sensational.
Chester, you know how you act when you get around the women.
Oh, stop. The only thing I do when I get around the women is get around the women.
Well,
care to shoot a game of pool?
He was sort of an everyman, but with an attitude.
What's yours? I'll take a lemonade. In a dirty glass.
Bob Hope's comedy timing has never been equaled, much less surpassed.
Nothing stronger, huh?
The word unique says it all when you talk about Hope. He was just doing what he did and no one else could do it.
From now on, you're sacred.
What do you mean, sacred?
You just became a full-blooded American idiot.
No, you do it. Who's going to believe I'm an idiot?
Ope. A little bit of Ope in our classic comedy tape.
I got him. Oops, position's reversed.
If he got a laugh, he'd do anything.
On guard, parry, thrust, and there's 24 roses to the widow. Yeah, but the choice long stem ones, they're out of season. Let's wait till spring. You better give up, Senator, because I'm going to be talking a long while, and believe me, I know how to talk. My father was a tobacco auctioneer, and my mother was a woman.
He was like an icon. He wasn't like ordinary people. He was past ordinary people to us.
I'm
he was
sorry,
this
that
guy
got me.
who
That
could
was
walk out anywhere and be at home. and
That's
get
a good
free.
joke.
Some fellas got it, some fellas ain't
because
got it.
it's funny.
I got it.
It's Bob Hope, The Road to Laughter, starring Bob in his greatest movie.
It makes you laugh, and then it makes you
featuring film
think
historian
real hard
Leonard
about why you're
Maltin,
laughing.
and Bob's writers Larry Gelbart, Mort Lachman, Sherwood Schwartz, and Melville Shavelson.
Listen, Weasel. I came here to get a tooth pulled. This one. Oh, the one next to the gold one. Savvy?
I know. We'll find it. Don't worry about a thing. It's a cinch. We'll get to it sooner or later.
I'm a very sensitive man. Don't hurt me.
All right, now just relax.
What's that?
Well, it's laughing gas. That's why they call me Painless Potter. I use it on all my patients.
Is it safe?
Well, it's the safest thing in the world. Would you mind paying me now?
Come on. The one next to the gold one.
Okay. Is it coming through? Feel anything? Must be a leak around here. Is it doing it to you? Huh? Bye-bye.
Okay, we're settled in. I'm gonna go grab a little bit of a bite. I'll be in chat, and then we can come back for Hit the Bricks Full in a few minutes.
Come on, dearie. You're next.
Well, you know, I pulled the wrong tooth. Got the one with the nugget in it.
So you pulled the wrong tooth.
How about that?
I'm going to give you just 15 minutes to get out of town.
Last time they gave me 20 minutes.
He was born Leslie Towns Hope in May of 1903 in England, but it was in America that he made his mark, conquering one medium at a time. From vaudeville to Broadway, from radio to film to television, on military bases from one end of the planet to the other, Bob Hope stood on a stage and with a knowing smile and a wink, he threw out a rapid-fire succession of one-liners that had audiences roaring with laughter. In the late 1930s, Bob Hope became a radio star and, in a sense, the first great stand-up comedian. With the help of an ever-changing family of joke writers, he created and refined one of the most memorable characters in entertainment history. Given his omnipresence on television during the past half-century, it's important to recall that the place where he did some of his most memorable and lasting work was on film. Before he was an icon, before he was a legend, before he spent every Christmas with the troops, before he was a fixture on TV and at the Academy Awards, Bob Hope's journey on the road to laughter began with a series of movies that have become classics. For nearly a quarter of a century, Bob Hope was a major movie star, and here are just a few of the highlights from those legendary films.
The beauty of the road movies is that they gave the public the impression that they were seeing the real Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, in a sense, and that it sort of extended the Bob and Bing they already knew from radio and from records and from personal appearances, and that this was just them having fun.
What do you hear? Who taught you that racket?
My old man.
Oh, following in your father's fingerprints, huh?
Oh, he was great. Need a little light here.
I like the light.
No, you're crazy. They'll see us.
It's a box again.
Nice going, Buster. Douse it. Get it out. Get it out.
Got a hot knuckle here. Thought they could scare me, huh?
The Marx Brothers were the closest thing to anarchy that screen comedy had ever seen. Their kind of no-holds-barred, anything-goes approach. But they reached their peak of doing that in the early 30s. And by the time the road pictures came along, no one had seen anything quite like them in that vein for a while.
And they did it by disregarding all of the rules. It was the first time in modern times that the actor spoke to the camera.
As far as I'm concerned, this picture's over right now.
And that crazy things happened that couldn't happen, and the audience was in on the joke.
What you have to remember looking back at these films is how revolutionary they were. And that's not an overstatement.
Yes, it is.
Don't forget, these pictures came out during the war. There were a lot of editorials as to how it had helped the public's mind during wartime, keeping their spirits up, because it showed you could make fun of anything.
Now, all you got to do is go into a shop, put on that silly look, and talk like this. Now, watch.
I take some of those, and I'll take some of these and some of those.
Let me have that slow.
Like that. I'll take some of these, and give me a few of them there, and
You feel all right, Daddy?
Let me hear you do it now. Come on. I'll take some of those and some of those over there.
That's wonderful.
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Go ahead, tell him, Junior.
I'm for the vote, I'm for the vote, I'm for the vote. Hey, are you making fun of me? Oh, no, I always talk like this. Oh, you do, huh? Well, why do you? Oh, because I can't help it. I'm an idiot. I'm sacred. No, you're saying I'm an idiot, too. Oh, well, if you think you're an idiot, I'm not going to argue with you because I just talk like that.
In 1938, it was a year that was the making of Bob Hope.
8 writers came out from New York to write the Bob Hope Pepsodent Show. None of us had ever written a radio comedy show before. Bob had never had his own show.
One of the things that helped Bob Hope create this successful starring movie career was that radio show and the team of writers he had on that show, because they worked with him on the films as well. So they were really doing both at the same time. There was no disparity between the Bob Hope of radio and the Bob Hope of the movies.
When you got it, you got it. There's nothing you can do about it.
And he had the great character of all times, as you know, in movies. He played the loser.
Now, I can't go on calling you Fearless. What's your right name?
Hubert.
Oh. Well, Fearless.
Well, the character that we developed for Bob was every man.
He did represent a lot of the audience in wanting to get the girl, wanting to be brave, wanting to come up with the answer, the solution, be the hero, and just wasn't quite up to it.
And we built that into a character that was based largely on Bob himself.
Oh, is that so?
Bob was a braggart and was always chasing women.
I'm a regular Casablanca.
Casanova.
When did they change that?
But he was the kind of a guy who chased women, but when he caught them, he didn't know what to do with them because he was a braggart.
Kiss me, Larry.
Oh. No, I can't. I mustn't. I don't even know you, and besides, I've given up kissing strange women.
What made you stop?
Strange women.
He doesn't do badly, really, when you really figure it all out. But he's never quite the Don Juan he pictures himself to be.
Boy, can you kiss?
And at any given moment, he'll hide behind a skirt if something is lurking around the corner.
We must get out of here. The Mordia.
The Mordia? They must have run out of daggers.
Run, Michael, run.
Run? Do you think I'm yellow? Shake hands with the lemon.
When you see him early, the character isn't formed yet. He's flip, because that seems to be his nature, but he's not pointed yet. And there's nothing specific about his character. He's just another one of those flip young men that you would see in a lot of musical comedies on Broadway in the 1930s. And that's, of course, just where he came from.
Well, what are you doing in alimony jail?
Well, I had a little trouble keeping a wife and the government on one salary. Sorry to keep you waiting out there.
It's all right.
Is this the one?
I think so. It's been some time since I've seen him. Yes, that's he.
Yes, it is. Here's another one says she's your wife.
Hello, Buzzy boy.
I hope you're happy now that you've put me in this monkey cage, just because I missed a couple of installments.
Number 3 coming up.
Hello, Buzz. What is this, a convention?
Obviously.
Oh, Mrs. Fielding, and Mrs. Fielding. 1 and 2, Mrs. Fielding, number 3. A mighty touching scene here. Are you expecting any more? No, I know when I've had enough.
He's not the star of the big broadcast of 1938. W.C. Fields is the star. And Dorothy Lamour, who was still fairly new but already had a bit of a name, was a star. And he was just one of the cast. Chances are most moviegoers were seeing him for the very first time.
Oh, hold your breath, folks. We...
And for Bob Hope, his lifelong ID came out of that movie. Thanks for the memory.
he showed something to the audience that he never ever showed again, to my knowledge, in any medium, and that was a kind of vulnerability and a sweetness. The song, in its original delivery, was sung between two people a married couple who had fallen out, and they sang about these wonderful times we shared. And it's incredible how wistful he is, how appealing he is.
Thanks for the memory of rainy afternoons, swingy Harlem tunes, motor trips and burning lips and burning toast and prunes.
How lovely it was. Thanks for the memory of candlelight and wine, castles on the Rhine, the Parthenon,
And moments on the Hudson River line.
how lovely it was.
Many's the time that we feasted,
And many's the time that we fasted.
oh well, it was swell while it lasted. We did have fun and no harm done. So thanks for the memory of crap games on the floor,
Nights in Singapore, you might have been a headache, but you never were a bore.
I thank you so much.
Thanks for the memory of China's funny walls, transatlantic calls.
That weekend at Niagara when we hardly saw the fall.
How lovely that was.
Thank you.
Thanks for the memory of lunch from 12 to 4, sunburn at the show, that pair of gay pajamas that you bought and never wore.
Say, by the way, what did happen to those pajamas? Huh?
Letters with sweet little secrets that couldn't be put in a day wire.
Too bad it all had to go haywire. That's life, I guess. I love your dress.
Do you?
It's pretty.
Thanks for the memory of faults that you forgave, rainbows on a wave.
And stockings in the basin when a fellow needs a shave. I thank you so much.
Thanks for the memory of gardens at Versailles,
And beef and kidney pie.
the night you worked and then came home with lipstick on your tie.
How lovely that was.
Huh?
For the memory of lingerie with lace.
Yes, and Pilsner by the case. And how I jumped the day you trumped my one and only ace.
How lovely that was.
We said goodbye with a highball.
And I got as high as a steeple.
Did you?
But we were intelligent people.
No tears, no fuss.
Hooray for us.
Strictly entre nous. Darling, how are you?
And how are all those little dreams that never did come true?
Awfully glad I met you.
Cheerio and toodaloo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Buzz.
Darling, I know. I know, dear.
How bittersweet and touching. I've always loved that song. I love songs from the, 30s and 40s that speak to the complexities and the nuance of human emotion. There are actually, It's not a recent invention. What is our next tape? This was Bob Hope, The Road to Laughter, for roughly 21 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, are you ready to read music today? From 1991 with instructor Paul Wayne Beach. From Backstage Pass instructional video. I don't think we've seen anything from them before. Understanding music notation. Learn how to read notes, scales, and chords. Backstage Pass music instructional video welcomes you to understanding the world of written music. This video is extremely useful if you already play music by ear and want to be able to learn to read written music. Every attempt is made in this tape to make the complex notion of harmonic analysis as easy for you to learn as possible. Yeah, this is contributed by Bella. It's from 1991. It's 2 hours long, which makes it a good pick for this stream format. And it's been mislabeled as sports for as long as I've had it. Read music today. Triads, intervals, notes, scales, chords. Level elementary to advanced. All right, let's do it. This one also, I think, needs to rewind a little bit longer in the VCR. But it's mostly rewound. So let's enjoy our favorite sport, music. And yeah, that's the rewind. Here we go. I'm able to like fix all the tape data retroactively. It's fine. Oh shit, this intro's good, but the beginning of the tape is real funky. Let's see if I can get that recorded. Backstage Pass instructional video. Oh, fuck yeah. Read music today. Oh, I'm so excited for this. What is this music? Paul Wayne Beach. I love it when all the graphics are done on like a Commodore 64. Welcome to the world of music. This video book will deal with only one aspect of music theory. Understanding music notation is extremely useful if you play by ear, and it's absolutely necessary. Every attempt will be made to make the complex notion of harmonic analysis as easy for you to learn as possible. A good place to start at your local library is the encyclopedia. The best way to use this video book is to interact with it. Rewind your VCR and review any material you do not understand. You will need a pencil, an eraser, and some blank paper. A ruler and a compass will be useful. Next, buy yourself an inexpensive pocket music dictionary and make sure that your library card is current. Your card will give you access to additional information on any topic that you may find difficult. Remember, some authors are better than others. Not going to recommend any, though. My name is Paul Wayne Beach, and I will be your guide. Now sit back and relax, and let's get busy. Correspondence. Send your mail to Dayton, Ohio. Is there going to be any actual, like, video? Did he not own a camera?
The very first thing that we need to take a look at
my God.
In order to learn to read music is the logical relationships between this circle, which eventually will become the head of a note, and this line. Now that line is going to develop into what we call a staff here in a little bit, but let's just take a look at the logical relationships between the circle and the line. For example, I can have the circle setting on top of the line. I can have the circle on the line, or I can have the circle below the line. Okay, let's add another line.
This is really the reason
Now
I get
with,
so excited about stuff like
two
this is that
lines,
it perfectly nails
possibilities are
the
circle can
low
sit
budget
on
digital
top of the top line.
aesthetic.
It can be on the top line. It can be
Like this was
in between those two lines. We call
as
this
early
the
as
space
possible.
music.
This was like the first moment in history where it was
on
possible
the
for just
bottom
one
line
dude to sit down with a
or
computer
below the bottom
and
line.
make an instructional video.
Okay, let's add another line. Okay, now
And
with
you still
three
needed like
lines, it can sit on
distributors
the
and,
top of
and
those three
production support and
lines.
stuff.
It
But
can
this
be
guy is doing
on
it.
the
This
top
guy. This
line,
is like the the proto
space,
YouTube tutorial
on
format,
the
and
center
I love
line, in the bottom space, on the bottom line, or below the bottom line. Let's add another line. Okay,
Why
now
do we
with,
need to
four
introduce the
lines, it
lines
can
of
be
the
set
staff
on top,
one line at a
top
time?
Line, on the top line, in the top space, or it could be counted the 1, 2, third space from the bottom.
This is not at
It'll
all
also be on the
tight,
second line from the top, or
tightly
you can count
edited.
it on the third line from the bottom, in the center space, on the second line from the bottom,
A staff has 5 lines. Notes can be either on the lines
bottom
or in the
space.
spaces.
on the bottom line.
That's really all you need, I
below
think,
the
to
bottom
explain
line.
this concept. But no, we have
Now
to go
let's
one at a
add
time.
One more line to complete our staff. Okay, with 5 lines, this does complete a staff. Now, at this point,
I'm really
all we
enjoying
have to know about a staff is that it's 5
The quality,
parallel
the vocal
horizontal
qualities
lines.
of the microphone, like
And I'll
picking
tell
up
you
all
how
the mouth
staff
noises and
functions
stuff.
here in a little bit.
It's
right
real
now, what
1991
we're trying
ASMR.
to learn is how to look at that circle in relationship
I'm
to
gonna
those lines.
I'm gonna shut
Let's
up for a minute
describe
and just let
these.
this play.
Here the circle sets on top of the staff.
And then maybe we'll fast forward a little bit and see
Here's
what happens,
on
what's
the
happening
top
later
line
in
of
the tape.
staff,
But I just want
in
you
the
to
top
get
space of the staff,
a real sense of instructor Paul Wayne
on
Beach
the second line from the
and
top,
his vibe,
or you
his
can count it
presence.
from the bottom. If you count from the bottom, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. On the fourth line from the bottom of the staff. Here it's in the space that's second from the top or third from the bottom. Here it's on the middle line of the staff. Here it's in the second space from the bottom or the third from the top. Here it's on the second line from the bottom. Here it's in the bottom space, on the bottom line of the staff, and below the staff. Now you might be wondering, well, what's this all about? These little circles and the lines. Well, basically, let's finish our definition of a staff now. Okay, a staff is 5 parallel horizontal lines that indicates the pitch of a note. Okay, now a note is just a symbol which represents a musical sound that will be on your instrument. We'll leave the definition that simple for right now. Now, pitch, the best way to think of pitch is there are high pitches and low pitches and mid-range pitches. Let me give you an idea of what I mean. For example, this note right here might sound like this. And if I go up to this line, it might sound like that. To this space, to the next line, to the next space, to the next line. You notice they're getting higher in pitch. This is called going up in pitch. To the next line, to the next top space, next line, and setting on top of the staff. Okay, now there we went up in pitch. Now let's come down in pitch. Okay, going up in pitch, by the way, can be called ascending. Coming down in pitch is normally called descending. So let's come down. See, it's going low in pitch. So there's a pitch range, like from here all the way up to here. Hear the difference? And back down. Okay, now you saw a bunch of little lines that just appeared out of nowhere. Let me tell you what they are. Okay, now I just showed you that the staff has a pitch range, say from this note to this note. Well, you might want to go higher in pitch than the staff would normally let you go. So what you do is you put extra little staff lines in. These are called ledger lines. And you can have a note that's higher than this note. Or you can have this note, which is higher still, okay, than this note, okay? Or remember, the staff would only let us go down to, let's say, here. Now if I wanted to go lower, I would have to put in an extension line below the staff. Hear the difference in pitch? Okay, this goes lower. Or we could have this particular note, or we could have this note. So see, now we're a lot lower than we were here. Well, these are called ledger lines. They enable you to go higher or lower than the staff. Okay, now our next job is to give letter names to all of the different pitches on the staff.
Do I need to start a separate YouTube channel that's
below the staff,
golden unintentional
on the ledger
ASMR?
lines, or above or below the ledger lines.
I feel like that would do a lot better.
Here's how we're going to do it. Draw a circle like you see on your screen. Divide it into 12 equal parts. Now it's important that you learn how to draw different things on your own, and remember the order that certain of these notes appear in, because you're going to be using them to analyze things as we go along. So just take it step by step, and just for now, just make a circle. And now we're going to use the first 7 letters of the alphabet. Okay, now A goes at the top of the wheel. Then we skip one, and the next note is B. So B goes here. Now the very next one is C, and it goes right here. Then we skip this one, and our next note becomes a D.
Again, I love the
It goes right here.
the quality of this.
We skip this
For
one.
1991, that it's like
next
this
note
is a screencast.
becomes an
He's
E.
recording himself doing this live with a
goes
computer.
right here. Now we don't skip one here. This is F, so we put an F in there. We skip this one, and we put a G in here. Now, these are the names of the notes. There are no more or no less than these 7. Now
Thank
you
you,
might
Green Day.
wonder, well, what about these things in between
Happy you
Okay.
get to live in Canada
Well, I'll
too.
be telling you about them as we go on, because
And
there
thank
are
you for
12
your-
notes.
for your
because we
Thanksgiving
use
wishes.
a system of what they call
Glad you could be here.
equal temperament. In other words, there's exactly a half step between each one of these notes, but I'll be telling you more about that a little bit later. So for now, you should be able to draw this wheel anytime that you want. It's just a circle divided into 12 different parts.
And that's how you play
And
music.
should be
You
able
draw
to
this circle.
Label it A, B, C, D,
And then you
E, F, and G.
chant the
just like it's
incantation.
shown here. Okay, now a note, like I said before, is a symbol which indicates pitch by its position on the staff. Okay, now in Book 2, which deals with melodic analysis, I'll be showing you other information that this note carries. In other words, it has to do with its duration, its note value, but we're not dealing with that right now. So for now, we'll just consider
First, you will be taught all the notes.
Is the pitch.
Then you'll learn how to make a major scale Ionian
Okay, now,
mode from all 12 notes.
Sounds may be high or low
You'll learn
in pitch
chords,
depending upon their frequency
a
of
system that will let you
vibration.
name any
If you
two
wanna
pitches for
look
intervals,
up an encyclopedia
triads, and
and get into,
versions.
like sound or acoustics, you can learn more about that.
Should we
We're just gonna consider like notes as being
Are y'all down to fast
high
forward?
or low or
do you want the
mid-range
basics?
pitches? Okay, now this thing right here, this is the first time you're seeing this. It's got like a little circle, line going up, line straight through with a little curly Q down here. Okay, this is called a clef sign. Now, a clef is a symbol placed at the beginning of the staff which determines the pitch of a particular note. Now, in this case, this is called a G clef because right here in this middle of this circle, it circles this line, which is the G line. We're defining this as G. Okay? Now, all other notes are figured in relation to that one particular note that's indicated by the clef sign. So, that sounds like a mouthful. Let me tell you exactly what that means. Okay, basically, if this is G, we know that going this direction is going up in pitch. We know that going this direction is coming down in pitch. What we do is we combine this idea that we covered before, about the staff, with the circle. Now, in the circle, anytime I go clockwise,
I feel like a lot of this is
up in pitch.
At least for me, like kind of
Anytime
intuitive
I
and
go
self-explanatory. Like it's all just represented
down
spatially. The fact that up is higher and down is
What we do
lower.
we plug this G, okay, right there.
And the
now,
the
next
letters
space up
increase
would be
with
the next letter name. So we need to go up in pitch. So this would be an A. So the name of this space right here is A. Then if I wanted the name of this line, it's one up from A, which is a B. So that's B. If I wanted to know the name of this space, okay, it's the next letter.
I also feel like
Okay,
you
so
could, in the
it's,
same way that you didn't have to show every staff line
to
up
know
here
the
one
name
by
of this
one,
line,
you could
it's
just
from
show.
C to D.
You
so
could
it's-
show the staff.
So basically,
and
I
then
would
write
just
the
keep-
letters next to them, and
as
then
I
there you go.
went
You
up,
get it.
Line and space, line and space. I would just keep going clockwise in the
Well, I
wheel.
mean, everyone does have a different, learning
there's
style
another thing
and
we can do. We can go down in the wheel.
different
Let's
set
start
of
again with this G
pre-existing
note.
knowledge.
So as before, what we do.
So what's
is we
over-explaining
take
to
this
someone
G,
may not
put it
be
in the wheel.
over-explaining to a different
So if I
person.
wanted to go to the next available thing, now that's a line, so I'd have to go to a space.
But having
So
done a
I'd
lot of
go
like
down
educational
in
video
pitch, which is
content, that this is like the prototypical
And it's
example
the
of in
next
1991.
Natural.
I feel like you
note
do.
that I see.
It is a
So
skill
that's an
having
F.
figuring out like
So
where to
that
draw the
space right
line,
there is an F.
how precise,
If I wanted to go
how much time to
and
spend
know
on a
the name of
topic to
this
make sure
line
that
right
like
here, the bottom line,
everybody
the
gets it,
staff,
but you're not dragging.
Okay, goes one away from F, which is E. So this is E. If I wanted to know what a note would be if it was right under the staff, it's the next one from E, which is D. Now, if I had a note on this ledger line, it's the next one down from D,
Like reading,
which is C.
learning to read music seems pretty.
So basically, I keep
It doesn't take
going
that much time or effort. It's
counterclockwise,
pretty straightforward.
and I can give names to
But
all of these.
learning the names of the notes is
Okay?
not the hard part.
So
it's like
basically,
drilling
that
it into your
gives me a
brain
name
with
for every
thousands
line
of
and
hours of
space
practice on your instrument
on
of
the
choice
staff.
until you can see it and
Now,
immediately
if,
play
you
it.
Remember, I said a clef sign is a symbol placed at the beginning of the staff which determines the pitch of a particular note. Okay? Now, all other notes are figured in relation to that one note. Now, there's more than one clef sign. Here's an example of what's called the bass clef. Now, this particular clef sign tells me that the second line from the top of the staff is an F. So F is now placed in the wheel to get the names of the rest
Yeah,
of
I
these
mean
other
the
notes.
only time I really did
Now,
sight reading
the same thing holds true here too. This way in the wheel,
at any
counterclockwise is
at
down
any
in pitch.
somewhat serious level
This
was
way
in
in the
choir
wheel.
with sight singing.
Okay, clockwise is up in pitch.
So that's definitely an intuitive
Let's
thing. You're
go
not
up in
like
pitch. If that's F, what would
unless
this be?
someone unless people's brains work very differently, and I'm not aware of this, like
so it's the next one, which is G.
if you're sight singing in choir,
and if I go up one more,
you don't say like, that's an A. How do I make an A with my
C,
vocal cords?
which is an
It's not
A.
like a discrete thing.
Up one more is B.
You just kind of start from the tuning note and
Up
you
one
feel
more is C.
the interval in your
On
body.
the top of that ledger line would be a D.
We did have one guy in choir with perfect pitch.
Now here, okay, we start with F. This one right here.
Like you could call out a note to him
Okay,
and
we want to go
he would just
down in pitch, so
sing
we
it.
go this way. So if that's F, the next one down, which is a space, would be what? It would be E. The next one down.
I was scrolling through YouTube shorts recently, in fact, and I found
Next one down.
I came across a video of a dude I went to high school with that's apparently like he makes
what's
drumming
this one?
videos on
A.
YouTube now that are really big.
And this one
His name is Harry Myrie.
is G. Okay, and under the staff.
And it was just very
would be
strange
F.
to see
Now, one
someone I
thing
went
to
to
notice,
went to high school
I
with
said that,
on
you know,
YouTube.
that note is F. Well, I also said that this note is F. Well, they're clearly not the same thing. So what makes this note different than that note? Well, this note up top here, okay, is said to be an octave higher than this note at the bottom. Basically what it means is that...
All right, I think we're going to fast forward a
is
little
the
bit
note
through this
on the top
to see
I
just
went
to see
all the way
what's
around the wheel.
what's
It came
happening
back
later
to
in the
this note.
tape.
Because there's only 7 notes, and anytime a note, okay, repeats, okay, it's said to be an octave, or 2 octaves, or 3 octaves apart. So this is F, and this is F. Okay, now that I've probably got you thoroughly confused, let me try to recap here for you. We started off, and I showed you a staff. Okay, 5 lines and 4 spaces.
This is a 2-hour tape, and we're 19 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and screen some random clips while I fast forward.
You golfers continually ask me, Lee, where can we get a cassette with your golf tips? You people are always after me. And I love it, but I've always said that my fans and followers deserve the very best I can give them. So what I've done is selected what I think is the best of my golf tips, the ones that have been on the TV network the last couple of years. We wanted you to enjoy these tips so you could better your golf game. The more times you run this cassette, the better chance you have of overcoming your problems. So all you have to do is put it in your VCR.
There's so much
and you've got
VHS
only
wisdom from Lee
is your
Trevino
personal
here.
pro right in your living room.
All right. We are now over an hour into this tape. Let's see where we are.
You know how that works? Let's do some more. Okay, now we're going to transpose to F sharp. So from F sharp, I want to go 1, which is G sharp. Then I want to go 1, which is A sharp. Then I want to go a half, which is B. Then I want to go 1, which is C sharp. 1, which is D sharp. 1, which is E sharp. And a half, which
It really,
is F sharp.
it seems like
And here's
what's wild
the
to me is that
key
like this is not.
And since this sharp is on E, it's
This
the
is
next
not
one
a
up,
music
which is
notation
F.
program. I'm pretty
And
sure
look
it's just a
back,
paint
all F's are
paint
sharp, so
program.
it's the key of F sharp.
So he's like doing all this manually,
Okay, now we're going to transpose C to C sharp.
hitting pause on the
Well,
VCR when he
since these
needs
are all
to
naturals,
move
these
things
are all
around.
going to be sharps. But we'll go through them anyhow. So C sharp, 1, D sharp, 1, D sharp to E sharp, a half, E sharp to F sharp. Okay, 1, F sharp to G sharp, 1, G sharp to A sharp, 1, A sharp to B sharp, a half, B sharp to C sharp. And the last sharp falls on this B. So if you go 1 up, okay, that's this space, which is C. Trace it back. All C's are sharp, so this key is C sharp. With
This
me
is
on
the
that?
sort of tape that I want to.
Let's do
like,
some flats. Okay, now we're going to transpose to.
as we go through these tapes, some of them to me are golden VCR material,
We wanna
quote
go
unquote, and
1,
some are not.
F is G.
And so I'm trying to just like favorite all of the ones that I think are
we want to go a half.
Fit the vibe
now
I'm looking for.
From A. Okay. Is A sharp.
And then at some point I'll
or
probably
B flat.
have to take a break from like
A natural, so we cannot choose
doing on camera
A sharp, or we'll have a
multiple times a week scheduled
so
streams and just start doing like
a
12-hour marathon of tapes that I like from the past.
C to D.
I would really like to flag all the ones that are
from D,
like worthy of preservation,
and a half from E
in my mind, and then do streams where we just.
And this is F.
It's just those
now,
tapes. It's just a VCR bootleg stream, basically. But it would give me an opportunity to go back and record those.
Well, this is 4 down.
Like get clean
For example,
videos
this
of
is
all
on a B
of
line.
the
So
noteworthy
across
tapes.
the line is 1, the space is 2, across the next line is 3, the next space is 4. So 4 down tells you the key. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's the key of F. That's the way you tell with.
We're going a little further in.
Dewey, I'm sorry. Dewey.
And then I think we'll be done with this tape for now.
Amelia. Oh, dear God. Please bring her back.
You can't dress like that. Why not?
Brazen hussy.
Wow.
It's a long one.
Triad is in second.
Ooh, he's
inversion.
explaining chords.
I'll be talking to you a little bit more about inversions here in just a second. Okay, now let's talk about triads, inversions, closed and open position, and doubling. First of all, I showed you how to make the major triad. Okay. Now, what I'm going to explain about a major
This
triad
does definitely feel like a
can also
textbook,
be
right?
applied
Right, like
to a minor triad, a diminished triad.
if what you wanted to do was play music,
But once you see this, I believe that the idea will be clear enough for you.
it wouldn't make
Now,
sense to just
also,
go
I'm
through all of
working,
this and try to digest
my
all this
chords
information. You would learn the basics. You would learn to
this
play something.
Ionian
You would
mode.
play.
Okay.
This is
The
if
natural
you like
Ionian
want to
mode,
be
which is the natural
if
notes
you
from
want to
C
go
to
to
C.
Berkeley.
Now, if you have a different root note other than C, then of course you have to transpose, okay, to that key.
Or if
That's why
if you're
I taught
really
you how
in,
to make the
if you're,
scales.
for example, a
But the
band
same
kid who
ideas
loves
work,
taking
okay, you number the scale,
transcribing
and
and
then you pull out certain
transposing,
notes. So everything that I'm going to say about the key of C applies to
Chronocross
all the other keys
music
just as well.
and you want to take
Okay,
your
so
game
the
up to the
triad
next level.
basically is
This would
1,
be a great
3,
tape.
5, which is nothing more than, you know, like root position triad, which sounds like this. Now,
I just
if
love that
took
the
this
keyboard
C
he's
and
doing the
placed it
accompaniment on
up
sounds so MIDI too.
Okay. Then we get what's called first inversion. It sounds like that.
All right, I think we will hit the bricks on this one in just
First
a moment.
inversion. Now, if I take that E note, this one here, and place up top, okay, then we get what's called second inversion. Okay, so it sounds like this. So here's root position, okay, first inversion, and second inversion goes like that.
God, I
Now,
still
if
have
you
the
take that G note,
Government of
which is
Canada
here,
website open.
and place up top.
I can't get over the fact
then
that there's an
you
official
get
Canadian
root
portrait of
position. Now,
whatever
root
the hell
position just
Camilla
means
is.
when it's closed form.
All right, that has been Read Music Today. Notes, scales, and chords. Contributed by Bella. Thank you, Bella. This one's an amazing time capsule of self-made video tutorial content from 1991. I'm digging it. That one's special. All right. Next up, I have a tape with this lady. This is one that I found in a thrift store in Appalachia. It is I Believe in Miracles, Volume 3, Corrie ten Boom, It's like an interview. Catherine Kuhlman was so intrigued with reading the book The Hiding Place, she invited Corrie ten Boom as her guest on 3 telecasts in 1972. So this is like religious television content from 1972 with this woman who was a Holocaust survivor. And it has quite an overt religious message, but also seems like a lot of historical significance in this from this lady's life and also 1972 Christian television. So let's give it just a little bit of a watch and see what awaits us. I Believe in Miracles with Corrie ten Boom. Or Corrie ten Boom, I guess. I get it, Trill. I believe in miracles. Jesus is victor. You sexy thing. As you view this video and see the love of God in and through Corrie's eyes, you will never be the same. This videotape is produced for home use. This is a home. You're in my home.
I believe in miracles.
Oh, I do not like milk holes. Ghost. I really love this set.
I believe in miracles.
Oh God, she's very passionate.
With every atom of my being. But you know why I believe in miracles? It's because I believe in God. And remember, sooner or later, if you are a part of humanity, you too will come to the place in your life when you'll have to believe him for a miracle for yourself. Well, Corrie ten Boom. I'll never forget the very first time I heard the name. It intrigued me. Corrie ten Boom. I'll never, never forget the first time I heard it. The little Dutch lady, born in Holland. And then it wasn't long, I heard many
This
people
host is
speak of
Catherine Kuhlman. She
Corrie
died
ten Boom.
at age 68,
I was
just
on my way
4 years
from
after this was
Europe
recorded.
recently, and
She was described as a faith healer.
Ruth had the book, The Hiding Place, The Life of Corrie ten Boom. It's
very odd framing.
And so I began reading it on the plane. I found myself so intrigued.
Very odd framing. That she's standing there on the left of frame talking to the camera about the woman who is sitting quietly in the background behind her in the shot.
I had Corrie ten Boom for breakfast, for lunch. I practically lived with Corrie ten Boom. This is the book, if you have not yet read it, and it's called The Hiding Place. And the hiding place was their little home.
Her
the home
presence
of the
and persona and mannerisms
Holland.
are just kind of off-putting to me.
During the regime of Hitler, World War II, my guest has spent time in prison, more than 11 months. The hiding place for literally scores and scores of Jews.
I think off-putting is putting it nicely.
My guest one of the most fascinating personalities that it's been my privilege to meet. You'll understand why. Come meet her. Corrie.
Ah. Why are you talking to her like that?
Just say Corrie instead of Miss Ten Boom. I know you so well, I feel we're related. And I'm only sorry as I read the book that I wasn't there helping you. I mean that with all of my heart. I wish I had been there. I wish I could have been one
Please
of your
let the Holocaust survivor who wrote a book speak, maybe.
What a thrilling life. What a thrilling experience you had. And now you're past 80 years of age, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You've had your 80th birthday.
Yes.
Corrie, where shall we begin? For once, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Sometimes it's a little difficult for me to keep quiet. But here is once, Corrie. It's all yours. Where do you want to begin?
I think I must first tell about my, when I was young, a long time ago. It was a long time ago. I was 5 years old. Then I asked Jesus to come into my heart, and he came. He didn't say you are too young, but he came, and he never has left me. And I can tell you a little bit about what it means to go with Jesus through life. I had a very happy youth. It was a very full house. We had 3 aunts, 3 sisters of mother who were living with us, and education was not always so easy, for they all tried to educate us.
And your home was where in Holland?
In Haarlem. And we lived in a watchmaker's shop.
And by the way, Corrie, you were the first woman licensed watchmaker.
Yes, yes. I helped my father.
Everything
and
she
it
says,
was,
why does she
good
have to
that
say it
I
that
got
way?
my license, and I enjoyed the work. And we were a real team, father and I. We were sitting there in the workshop, and we had both a Bible in our drawer, and we had fine talks. I learned so very much from father. You know, father saw the everyday life so beautiful. He said sometimes to me, Corrie, my name is on the shop, but really God's name should be on the shop, for I am a watchmaker by the grace of God. And that is what I really have experienced, how someone sees that everything belongs to the Lord. And we had a very happy life, but you know already through the book that we have saved Jewish people in that terrible time that the Nazis intended to kill all the Jewish people. Now, it is interesting when I can tell you something that happened in 1844.
It's gonna get dark
My
soon.
grandfather, also a watchmaker, said to his friends, say, come to my house and let us pray for the Jews and for the peace of Jerusalem. And every week they came together to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and the blessing of the Jews. 100 years later, exactly in that same house, grandfather's father, 4 of his grandchildren and a great-grandson were arrested because we had saved Jewish people. That was a divine but not to understand answer on prayer for the Jews.
That was part of God's plan.
Yes. God has plans, no problems. There's never a panic in heaven. But we had indeed done as much as we could to save the Jewish people. And it was dangerous work. And often people said to father, if you have always Jews in your house, you once will end up in prison. Father was old. But Father said, if I come in prison, I will not stay alive. I'm too old for prison life. But it will be an honor to me to give my life for God's ancient people, the Jews. And that is what really happened.
Tell me about the house. It was so built that you were able to hide so many in your home. And your home was very old, right?
Yes. We had a hiding place, but there could be only 8 people. That was a secret room. And when we were arrested, the people who were in the secret room have not been found. So it was a very blessed secret room. But our life, our work was to bring the Jews to first to other countries, to help them to go to England or to Switzerland. But later that was impossible. And then we placed them in many different homes. But we took care for food, for ration cards, and for all the many things that had to be done. And it was a very busy life. But at last, we were betrayed. And that was a terrible time. But perhaps I must also tell you that at time that we had these Jews in house was dangerous, but we have never laughed so much as in that time. Jews have such a good sense of humor. And we had we made it as happy as we could.
And you had the joy of the Lord.
Yes. Of course, that's we knew that whatever happens, those who love God, all things work for the best. And so there was not a real the real fear. We were not afraid. But it was for the Jews difficult to be in a house and never to come out, never to have an opportunity to make a walk. Only when it was very dark in the evening.
Okay, I have a 45-minute nature wildlife tape
Eusie was one of the finest
that we can watch in its entirety to
stayed
finish
in our
the stream.
House. The others, many went to other houses, but Eusie stayed. And he gave Hebrew lessons. And Father, although he was 84 years old, he said he also wanted to learn Hebrew. And he did.
Have y'all gotten enough of this tape, or would you like to hear more? This woman sounds like she has fascinating stories.
Background of danger. But in some way, I think of Piet Hartog. I worked with many young people. And I remember that once we heard that in a Jewish orphanage, all the babies had to be killed. And I called my boys. I had 30 boys who worked with me and 20 girls, 20
And the Jewish orphanage was where?
That was in Amsterdam. And I said to my boys, there's work for you to do. You must save these Jewish babies.
How many?
Now, I believe there were 100. And these boys stole about 100 babies. And
stole them?
Yeah, they stole them.
How did they do it? In the night?
No, I must tell you a secret. Sometimes there came good German soldiers to me and said, we will not work any longer for that Adolf Hitler, always to kill Jewish people. Can you help us? And I said always, sure, I can help you. And I sent
And they were in the German army?
Yes, and we sent them to a farm far away, and there they stayed for the duration of the war, and we took their uniforms. Can you understand what that meant? When our boys stole the babies, they had German uniforms. So they could just go over the street, and they came into that house, and the father of the orphanage was in the secret. And then they took the babies to a house far away from the town, and my girls distributed all these babies in one day. That was not difficult. For just imagine that I have a baby in my hand, they say, no, listen, will you save this baby? And if you don't do it, and I cannot find another address, this baby will be killed. Of course you should take it. And so...
Boy, there's a lot of fascinating stuff there. But I think we're ready to wind down with some nature. I gotta rewind the tape.
Of course.
And
How bad it is there.
Now, the winds have picked up here quite a bit here in the Myrtle Beach area, and as you can tell, only fools, idiots, and reporters, and those terms are rapidly becoming interchangeable, are still here in Myrtle Beach as this storm is plowing ashore. It's still a couple of hours away, but Myrtle Beach is also taking a hammering.
So let's go.
I like the graceful swan. You sure are a graceful swan.
Alfred, cut that out. Look, she is Alfred. You know what, kids? I like all the animals. In fact, I love everything about God's creation. In the beginning, God made the world. He made the earth and the seas and the grass and the trees.
We found so many good clips throughout the Chex Watch year that we've been doing this. Oh, God. All right, we have made it to the beginning of our next tape. It is fully rewound now, and it is... That was An Evening with Beverly and Friends. A tape which sadly was in very poor condition, and I couldn't, I couldn't rewind it past a certain point, and it only lasted for like a minute at a time playing it. But we got the vibe. This is Alaska's Grizzlies, sent in by West Coast Deb. It's from 1998. 45 minutes. Alaska's Magnificent Predators. The best educational video, best independent film of the 1997 Wildlife Film Festival. Winner of the 1997 4-Star Award from the Outdoor Writers Association of America. Renowned cinematographer Daniel Zatz and bear biologist Derek Stonerov spent over 6 years filming and studying Alaskan grizzly bears in order to produce this award-winning video, Alaska's Grizzlies. Combining spectacular footage with fascinating facts and insights, this entertaining and educational program lets you see and experience these magnificent creatures like no other video ever has. For anyone interested in wildlife, and particularly grizzlies, this is a video you and your family will enjoy for years to come. That's like every VHS tape description has to end with, you and your family will love watching this over and over again. One of Alaska's best wildlife cinematographers, Daniel Zatz, has won dozens of awards, including 2 Emmys for his work. His footage has been seen on National Geographic, the BBC, CNN, and CBS Sunday Morning. 50% of the filmmaker's profits for this video will be donated to Alaskan wildlife conservation programs. Nice. Okay, well, it's tape 333, Alaska's Grizzlies. And this will be our final tape for a little bit here. Let's see, our next stream should be on, I would think, our next stream will be in December. I'm not sure if it'll be the 2nd or the 4th. Probably the 2nd, but we'll see. Anyway, this is our final tape before the Thanksgiving break. Hope you all enjoy. Alaska's Grizzlies. Ooh. I love the reels of film and the VHS tape in there. That's great representation. Just gonna go ahead and record that one. I think we've seen this company before, but I think that might be a different intro. We also had the Alaska tape with like the children reciting poetry about grizzly bears.
Wild and diverse beauty.
This one looks better, more professionally produced. Let's sit back and enjoy it.
From the forests of southeast to the rolling tundra in the Arctic refuge, Alaska's vast, unspoiled wilderness areas support abundant wildlife populations. Here, as in few places in North America, the wide open areas and abundant food sources maintain fully functioning ecosystems. It's a place where top predators still roam, where there are orca, wolves, owls, and bears. Brown bears have lived in Alaska for over 10,000 years. Despite their fearsome reputation, brown bears, or grizzlies as they're sometimes called, are sensitive and intelligent animals that form rich and intricate social systems. What's more, they've developed sophisticated ways of communicating with each other. From the gentle interactions between a mother and her cubs, to the confrontation between two adults vying for a fishing spot, bears communicate their intentions in subtle and not so subtle ways. While such aggressive physical behavior plays a key role in the brown bear's social order, most bear communication is far less intense. Still, most people think of bears as overly aggressive and anything but predictable. In Alaska, brown bears are frequently shot and killed by people who, when frightened by a bear, mistakenly interpret the animal's intentions. This is called a hop charge. It's a threatening move, but not one that usually leads to further aggressive behavior. It's when people misunderstand confrontations like this that bears are shot and killed. Understanding how bears communicate is essential for protecting both people and bears, and may ultimately help us coexist with these magnificent animals. This is Motley. Named by a biologist, he is one of over 100 brown bears that frequent the McNeil River State Game Sanctuary in southwest Alaska. Since 1970, scientists have been observing the bears and studying their behavior. First seen as a cub, Motley is now 7 and behaves much like all brown bears. Soon, Motley will be looking for a female to mate with. For now, he's heading toward the river. The salmon are running, and Motley has come to fish. This is the McNeil River Falls. Each summer, up to 70 bears gather here at one time to fish for chum salmon. From females with cubs to the largest and oldest males, the bears come to feed and gain enough nourishment to last them through the long Alaskan winter. The high concentration of bears at the falls makes it an ideal place to view their interactions. Here, a young female named Jennifer is asserting her dominance over Motley. Both bears are part of a hierarchy, a rich and complex social order that includes all of the bears here. Understanding this hierarchy is the key to unlocking many of the mysteries of why bears behave the way they do. It all begins when the bears are still young. Born in the den in midwinter, these cubs are experiencing their first summer. They're called cubs of the year, or spring cubs. Mothers and cubs form tight family units, while male bears are largely solitary. In June, the cubs are starting to learn many of the skills they'll need as they grow older. Fishing is an important skill. While most spring cubs don't actively fish, they gain other social knowledge and skills that will help them survive in the years ahead. Cubs usually stay with their mothers for 2 or 3 years. During this time, she is extremely protective of them. Other bears, both male and female, pose a serious threat to the cubs and may even attack them. As many as half of all cubs die before they're 3, sometimes by falling or drowning. It's often a stressful time for the mother. To gain a better sense of the world around them, bears frequently stand up to look and sniff. Females with cubs are particularly alert, especially near salmon-rich rivers, where there are often other bears. A female sensing danger may show her concern by making these popping sounds. The sound may help alert the cubs of the female's heightened stress level. If she's not fully attentive to her cubs, and they don't stay close to her, the outcome could be tragic. This is the McNeil River in 1991, a year when few salmon returned to the river. Fewer fish resulted in more competition and aggression between the bears. This is Molly. Her spring cubs are about 6 months old. A few seconds after these images were taken, she moved to a fishing spot on the river. But a male frightened her cubs, who were then separated from her. The spooked cubs quickly attracted the attention of 2 nearby males, who pursued and attacked them, leaving Molly in a desperate and futile search for her lost cubs. She chases a male that just killed one of her cubs. The other cub is still near the river. Though shocking to witness, these events help illustrate why females like Molly are so protective of their cubs, and why they're potentially dangerous to both humans and other bears when they perceive a threat. It's an early July morning, with no other bears nearby. White, a 26-year-old female, and her yearling cubs feed quietly on sedge near the mouth of the McNeil River. The sedge is rich in protein and will supplement their summer diet of fish. By mid-morning, White's cubs are hungry for more than sedge. Females nurse their cubs for about 2.5 years, or until the cubs are ready to live on their own. While nursing, cubs often make this purring sound. When they're finished nursing, cubs often play together. It's through play like this that cubs learn to communicate with other bears. The play postures they use now will be used throughout their adult lives. Even when there is just one cub, play continues. Mothers and cubs stay together for as long as 3 years, but most split up when the cubs are about 2.5. That's when the mother typically becomes fertile again. During this time, she grows increasingly intolerant of her cubs and pushes them out on their own. After leaving their mothers, the young bears continue their play sessions. These bears are 4.5 years old. They play together until noticing an older male walking toward the river. Wary of his size, the younger bears retreat. Bears are almost always on the move, searching for food or staying out of each other's way. Once they've reached a safe distance, the bears resume playing. Bears usually play with others of approximately the same age and size, and usually the same sex, but not always. Here, 7-year-old Motley is playing with a 4-year-old female named Carmela. Even when bears become mature and weigh over 1,000 pounds, they continue to play, but not as often as when they were young. Very old bears almost never play. Playing with another bear, this time a male of his own age named Crew, Motley becomes more aggressive. A female in heat is nearby. Their play quickly turns into a fight. far more common sight this time of year is a male searching for females in estrus. It's early June, and Motley is sniffing the spot where a female bear has been resting. Through his incredible sense of smell, he can quickly sense her reproductive condition. Males tend to stay close to females in estrus, unless driven off by a more dominant bear. Following a young female, Motley attempts to mate. But she's not at the peak of her estrus cycle and is not entirely receptive to his advances. Most mating takes place in May and June. During this time, large males are so persistent at following females that they seldom take time to feed or rest. The female dictates when she and the male will breed. The male follows her until she's ready, sometimes for days. Actual mating may last more than 45 minutes. As mating season passes, females with cubs appear more frequently at the river. With fewer aggressive males nearby, it's a safer place for the cubs. This is an excellent time to observe the bears. Vocalizing, like these cubs calling out, is one of the ways bears communicate. Bears also communicate by touching, smelling, watching, and through body posture. These cues are just as important as sounds. As two young males meet, they greet one another by mouthing each other on the head and neck. Perhaps the most common display seen among bears involves facing and looking toward another bear. Here, a mature female waits for a large male to leave a preferred fishing spot. When the male moves toward the female, she backs off and maintains her distance. Both approaching or retreating have communication value. When bears sit or lie down in the presence of other bears, they're expressing their reluctance to engage in more intense interactions. Communication between bears that are fishing is often subtle. With limited room available at many fishing holes, bears of similar rank commonly take turns fishing. Lying down and waiting signals a tolerance for the other bear to finish. These bears may share this sight as long as they're hungry. Bears of similar rank often perform a medium-intensity display called jawing. Jawing is sometimes a prelude to physical contact, but more often it serves to diffuse conflict. Vocalizations and head movements are always part of the display. Jawing can turn into a more threatening behavior. Sometimes competition for food, mates, space, or social rank leads to contact. However, if the bears have battled before, the fight is usually brief. With the fight over, Motley straddles, urinates, and rubs against bushes and other vegetation. Scientists aren't exactly sure why bears do this. It may be redirected aggression, a result of stress associated with fighting. Rubbing and urinating is almost certainly related to scent communication. These behaviors may also help relieve the stress associated with fighting. Because fights between bears can be dangerous, they have evolved highly ritualized displays to minimize physical injury. A stiff-legged gait or strut called cowboy walking is typical of such displays. Cowboy walking is usually directed toward other males or performed over places where fertile females have recently been. It has also been directed toward humans. Rubbing against vegetation is often part of the ritual. These two mature males are engaging in cowboy walking. As they circle each other, they move purposefully, slowly, and deliberately. This display is almost always accompanied by urination. Head and body orientation are important in signaling a bear's intentions. When a bear stands with its side facing the other bear, it's conveying an unwillingness to attack. A bear with a lowered head may be highly aroused and ready for contact. When Joe, the light-colored bear, approaches another bear named Scraper, he's forced back. Scraper, a more aggressive bear, asserts his dominance by first defensively crouching, then directly approaching and threatening Joe. The two do not engage in cowboy walking, but the orientation of the head and body is still important, as both bears alternately face, then look away from each other, possibly signaling a reluctance to pursue a fight. Joe, the light-colored bear, has his ears back against his head, a behavior typical of submissive and defensive bears. After one of these confrontations, a large male will sometimes stand and rub against a bush. At McNeil Falls, rubbing is almost exclusively performed by dominant bears, like this bear, one of the largest males at the river. By using sound, smell, posturing, and body contact to communicate, bears have evolved a social system that establishes a hierarchy which allows them to coexist with one another. Woofy, the darkest bear, is at the top of the McNeil River hierarchy. He's known as the alpha bear, and he's exceptionally aggressive. He's quick to assert his dominance over a subordinate male. On his way to the river, he will force any bear in his path to move. His social position becomes apparent as he enters the river. Here, Woofy forces another bear out of a prime fishing spot. With merely a threatening gesture and vocalization, a potentially damaging conflict is avoided. Fights between male bears sometimes result in injury. Fortunately, bears are resilient, and the injuries heal quickly, leaving visible scars. Over time, the males learn how to coexist with each other. As summer progresses, the hierarchy is more clearly established. Both the frequency and intensity of fighting decreases. When a large male approaches these subadult bears, they move away to maintain a safe distance. Subadults are at the bottom of the social order and are constantly on the lookout for more dominant bears. Female bears, like White, are more tolerant of each other. Still, older females tend to dominate younger ones. Competing for the best fishing position, two young females of similar rank jaw at each other, much the way older females do. Unlike the males, females seldom come in physical contact with each other. Mothers with cubs commonly vie for fishing spots by forcing other bears to move out of their way. Mothers tolerate other families, but only at a distance. Motley ranks in the middle of the McNeil River hierarchy. Here he loses a fish to an older, larger, and more aggressive bear. Living within the boundaries of this hierarchy, bears, both young and old, benefit greatly. The hierarchy reduces aggression among the bears and gives them more time for other activities, such as playing, fishing, and resting. Understanding how bears communicate with each other can be useful, since bears react to people much as they respond to other bears. With enough exposure to people, bears grow accustomed to their presence. This gives both sides an advantage. Encounters need not end in conflict. At McNeil River, a mutual understanding between bears and people has evolved that allows for interactions previously considered impossible. By acting in ways that don't surprise bears, trust emerges on both sides, allowing visitors to the falls a chance to observe and appreciate the bears. Still, visitors must pay close attention and keep their distance. Flossie and her two cubs are approaching a group of hikers. Rather than surprise or frighten her, the hikers calmly signal their presence. Making sounds while the bear is still at a safe distance can be the key to avoiding a confrontation. Here, a young bear approaches a group of people near the mouth of the river. They move out of his way to allow him to pass. By moving back, they signal a reluctance for confrontation. In turn, the bear gives no sign of aggression. He simply approaches and then passes by. For too long, the relationship between people and bears has been adversarial, founded on our fear and misunderstanding. As we uncover the subtle interactions upon which bear society is built, we are beginning to appreciate bears as individuals, to admire and respect them, not simply for their strength and power, but for their sensitivity and intelligence, and for the richness of their lives. And perhaps, as we learn more about bears, our understanding will lead to increased protection that will help to ensure their long-term survival.
The bear facts. You get it? You get it? The bear facts? Do you get it? So a bear is an animal, right? But it's also a word. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's a tiny little bear. I definitely want to run right up to him and get in between him and his mama and pet him and pat him. Pick him up. Wave him around in the air. I never realized that grizzly bears had such human-looking breasts. It's so strange to see the multiple rows of them. Maybe I'm anthropomorphizing a little too hard here. This tape said it was 45 minutes, and we're at 34. So I guess it's a 30-minute program and then 15 minutes of bear facts. It's so windy. We're getting hit with so many bear facts. Bears can see. I had a fun fact about this from Earthbound. I thought for a minute that said along the coast bears almost eat clams. And I thought, damn, that is a wild fact. They sometimes they think about it. I did not know that bears ate clams. Yeah. Fun fact number 135. Thanks, Trill. I do remember that one. That one was also a niche reference to a viral web video from like 2008. The guy with the swords. If it's a salmon, the bear will eat it. Yeah, it works. I'm no comedy mastermind. I think if you're gonna make a niche reference, it should work without having to understand the reference. It should still be funny. But I don't really know what I'm doing. I just say silly bullshit. I'm really impressed at the volume of bear facts we're getting. There really is 15 minutes of bear footage with titles. Oh my god. Did they add a chomping sound effect? Fun salmon fact. Salmon are fucking stupid. Oh, now we're on to people facts. These aren't really bear facts, they're bear enthusiast human facts. Oh, you stretching? Ooh, we do still have, for when we come back and do more streams, we have Bush Pilots of Alaska. I think at one point I tried to watch Bush Pilots of Alaska, but it was when Deb was not around. When Deb was on vacation. And everyone was like, no, you have to wait for Deb to watch Bush Pilots of Alaska. Yeah, I got a drawer full of Christmas tapes. We'll be back with it. Be back with Golden VCR in December for some Christmas time. Cheer. Was the Cook Inlet named after Captain James Cook, who was murdered by angry Polynesians after they discovered he was not a god? Or was it named after a different cook? It was named for James Cook. It is also called Tikaknu in Tanaina and Hungakik in Sukpiak. Photographed by Daniel Zatz. But who did the Bearfax? Derek Stoner of researched it. This was neat. I liked how it's surprisingly AKRaven1 at AOL.com. Hell yeah.
Also available from Sky River Films.
I liked how kind of, indie this was in its production value. Really letting this footage speak for itself. We have seen a lot of caribou on Golden VCR. They're very neat looking animals. So inspiring. Oh my god. Beautiful seals. Nothing bad is happening to them. Okay, that's just a Bob Ross painting. Trying to be sneaky. Oh, he's a otter. Is this promo just the entirety of Wild Alaska? Stupid fish. I wish salmon would just jump into my mouth. love how every time the music swells, they include it's on a shot of a bald eagle. Also, yeah, this is the one we watched with the kids talking about bears. This is really a niche of video content. There was a lot of a niche. Alaska home video content. I don't know if there really was a lot of it, if it was a big deal, or if we've just received a disproportionately Alaskan... Oh, that's right, it had a song.
In the stream. Oh, mama bear, oh, baby bear, are you really so mean? Eating and tumbling and filling your day with all sorts of fun and play. Oh, mama bear, oh, baby bear, you're grizzly so free.
I don't know how many of these promos there are. Thank you, Zelda Master. Yeah, this is, we're wrapping up here.
Your claws are so long and sharp for finding food and tearing things apart.
Curious
Nuts and berries,
to see what other
grass and
promos we have.
fish and rodents, honey from bees.
Excellent.
Oh, mama
Yeah, I look
bear,
forward
oh,
to
bear, fishing
having a
in
bunch
the
more tapes
Oh,
when we
mama
come back.
bear, oh, baby bear, are you really so mean? Eating and tumbling and filling your day with all sorts of fun and play. Oh, mama bear, oh, baby bear, you're grizzly so free.
Stick. And okay, those were the two promos. Sky River Films, Anchorage, Alaska, 1998. Thank you to West Coast Deb for sending this one in. And that's going to do it for our streams of 2024 until December. I hope you all have a very lovely Thanksgiving, if you're American and so inclined. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Where did it go? Shit.
Cook, the famous 18th century circumnavigator. This was both his first landfall in Hawaii and his last, as angry Polynesians killed him when they realized he wasn't a god.
All right. That's going to do it. Unless you have any last-minute requests for bizarre VHS clips, we're going to call it here. So I should be back, I believe on December 2nd, next Monday, to do Jess, all right. What do we got? Let's see. I suppose we could do... Oh, we should end with Pride Robot. Here, let me, we can do a VOD killer, if y'all are good with that. So thanks for being here. This is the end of the recording.